Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if neglected Naruto adopted by a goddess. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Majestic Yokai Fauntleroy and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Within an endless void stood a woman. The woman possessed a regal beauty, having long flowing white hair going past her feet, pale skin, her eyebrows cut low and round, a symbol of nobility, red lipstick, clear white eyes, a slit on the center of her forehead, wearing a high-collared hime kimono, which has tomo running down the center, and edges of the gown, adorned with intricate gold and purple lines. The most noticeable feature were the two horns sprouting from her head. This woman is Kaguya Otsutsuki, the progenitor of Chakra, rabbit goddess, and mother of the Sage of Six Paths. Currently Kaguya was watching as one of the fragments of her power, the Kyuubi no Kitsumi she believed her name was, attacked the village Konohagakure, a village founded by the previous incarnations of her grandsons Indra and Asura. Despite being sealed within the moon by her traitorous sons, Hagoromo and Homura, she was still able to view the events happening in the elemental countries. It made Kaguya want to laugh in Hagoromo's face, the people he had so much faith in turning his precious ninshu into weapons of war and sealing the tailed beasts away. But it also angered her that these lowly humans still have access to her chakra, it should never have been given to them. Are you watching, my foolish son, watching how these people use the power you gave them to lie, cheat, steal, and kill each other? Imprisoning your own creations. Kaguya thought. Just then Kaguya saw a blonde man and red-haired woman appear on the battlefield with three infant boys. From what Kaguya's seen, the man was Minato Namikaze the Yondaime Hokage, and the woman was Kushina Uzumaki the Red Death, while the three babies were their newborn sons, Arashi, Menma, and Naruto. So, that's Asura's newest incarnation. Kaguya thought, focusing on baby Naruto. Kaguya watched as Minato summoned the Shinigami to seal Kitsumi's yin and yang chakra within Arashi and Menma respectively, while sealing the soul inside Naruto, before surprisingly the Shinigami let the man live, rather than take his soul. Now interested, Kaguya watched as the family returned to Konoha, where Minato announced his sons Arashi and Menma as heroes for containing the Kyuubi's chakra, everyone cheering for the newly titled twin princes of Konoha. It made Kaguya shake her head, and her sons wondered why she kept most of the humans imprisoned in the infinite Tsukiyomi. As the villagers celebrated their new heroes, the Namikaze family returned to the Hokage's office, meeting with Tsunade Senju, a member of the Senju clan, Asura's descendants, and Jiraiya of the Sannin, the latter of whom made Kaguya growl, glaring at the man. After being trapped within the moon, Kaguya eventually learned it was the Grand Toad Sage, who told her sons of the humans she kept imprisoned in the infinite Tsukiyomi. Since then she's had a burning hatred for all toads and anyone who summons them, swearing once she was free that she'd hunt down and slaughter those worthless creatures and their summoners. Kaguya watched and listened as Jiraiya told the new parents of a prophecy he received from the toads, of a child who bring peace to the elemental countries, making Kaguya groan in resignation when they all instantly decided Menma Arashi was the prophecy child. Yes, because interpreting a prophecy is always smart. Kaguya thought sarcastically before frowning, changing the view where she saw Naruto in a room alone. They basically forgot their third son, instead focusing on the other two. While Kaguya would admit she wasn't the best mother, hardly even seeing her sons, she at least never favored one over the other, treating them the same. So, to see two parents, people who preached about the bonds of family and friends, to ignore one of their own children just because of some prophecy told by a senile old toad with one foot in the grave, was truly sickening. And people called me the demon. Kaguya thought. Though maybe this could be used to her advantage. Changing the image again, this time to a clan compound, specifically the Uchiha clan, Indra's descendants. Going to a specific room, Kaguya saw a sleeping baby girl, Satsuki Uchiha, the newborn daughter of the clan head and Indra's newest incarnation. Yes, this could work out wonderfully. Thought Kaguya, smirking, activating her Byakugan. The little known fact about the Byakugan, well hers at least, was it truly lived up to its name of the all-seeing eye. After her imprisonment, Kaguya discovered another power of her eyes. They could show her glimpses of the past, present, future, and possible futures. It's how she knew what would happen after being sealed away, Hagoromo's ninshu, sharing chakra, his sons turning against each other, all of it. Kaguya also saw Zetsu's plan to revive her, a plan so convoluted she wondered if he even considered all the things that could go wrong with it. But now she'll make her own plans, ones that will have revived in a matter of a few years, rather than the centuries Zetsu's plan is taking. Yes, soon I shall return, and all will fear me and rejoice. Kaguya thought. Time skip 9 years, Konoha. Well done, Menma, Arashi, you're coming along nicely, you'll be as strong as your old man in no time. Minato congratulated his sons who stood on a branch. Hey, don't forget me, Minato, they'll be badass just like their Kachan. Shouted Kushina, crossing her arms, Minato chuckling sheepishly. "Please, we won't be strong as you two, we're going the strongest in the world, right Nai-san?" said Menma, smirking, looking to his brother. "Oh yeah, no one will be strongest than us." Arashi agreed as both parents smiled at their children. Unknown to the family, they were being watched by someone, another boy looking at the family with cold detached eyes from his perch in a tree. The boy was Naruto Uzumaki, Minato and Kushina's third son, and Arashi and Menma's younger brother, or as the latter two refer to him, their personal punching bag. Naruto sneered at his brothers' egos were inflated further. They managed to master tree walking, big deal. Naruto had already mastered it when he was 6, did anyone praise him for it? No, because in the minds of his family and the rest of the village, he was a talentless weakling who would never compare to his brothers, with Menma and Arashi feeling the need to remind him of the fact every day. What no one but two other people knew was that Naruto was stronger than he let on. While Menma and Arashi were trained by their parents, Naruto trained on his own and occasionally with his best friend, preferring it that way as then he could keep his skills secret. It also wouldn't do for the villagers to hate him. See, while Naruto's brothers were seen as heroes for containing the Kyuubi's chakra, Naruto was seen as the Kyuubi itself for containing the soul. For the first 5 years of his life, Naruto had to live in fear of the villagers, constantly looking over his shoulder, not that it helped as they always seemed to find him, and that's when the beatings began. Naruto lost count of how many times he was beaten to near death, then having to drag his broken body back home. He tried telling his parents what was happening, but they didn't believe him even when they saw him covered in his own blood. To his parents, he was just a troublemaker that pranks people and gets in trouble, when really, it's Menma and Arashi that are the troublemakers who blame Naruto. He remembered when they were 4, Naruto had drawn a picture of the entire family and planned to show his parents in hope of them praising him for something. Though he had gone to get some water, and when he came back he saw Arashi showing their parents the drawing, saying he made it for them. When Naruto said he was a liar and that the picture was his parents yelled at him for trying to take credit for his brother's hard work and sent him to his room. That was the day Naruto began to resent his family. Another incident when they 5, Menma had been running in the house, bumping into a standing holding their mother's favorite vase, knocking it down, breaking it. When Kushina saw it, Menma blamed Naruto, even though he wasn't even home at the time, too busy running from a mob. When he got home, Kushina yelled at him for what Menma did, sending him to his room, telling him not come out until the next day. When Naruto tried arguing that he didn't do it, his mother Mad actually hit him. Flashback. Naruto stared at his mother in shock, holding his face when her hand had connected, still processing that she had just hit him. "Don't talk back to your Ka-san, now go to your room and don't think to come down," shouted Kushina, glaring at Naruto. "She hit me, she actually hit me." Naruto thought his parent had yelled at him before but never actually hit him. Naruto's eyes soon went icy cold and his face going blank. "Yes, Ka-sama," Naruto said coldly, startling Kushina a little. Walking up the stairs, Naruto caught sight of Menma smirking smugly at him, making him narrow his eyes. "Enjoy while you can, dear brother, but one day I will have you at my feet begging for mercy. Mercy that I won't give," Naruto thought darkly. Then flashback. Since then Naruto has only ever talked to his parents when he needed to, only saying the bare minimum and referring to them as Ka-sama and Tu-sama, even though he's long stopped considering them his parents. It was also after that Naruto began training on his own, refusing to even try asking for his parents to train him as well. He had become colder to everyone except 2 people, no longer caring about the villagers' opinion of him or earning his family's affection. It was another thing that set him apart from his brothers. While Arashi and Menma were loud and brash, preferring to be the center of attention, wearing bright clothes, Naruto was cold, aloof, and stayed in the shadows, wearing dark clothing. The 3 boys were also different in not just attitude but appearance. While Menma was a carbon copy of Minato with spiky blonde hair and blue eyes, Arashi had red hair like Kushina and lighter blue eyes. Naruto, on the other hand, had spiky black hair and dark blue eyes that bordered on black. His hair used to be blonde, but he dyes it black, wanting to distance himself from his family. The only thing the 3 had in common were their whisker marks. Suddenly Naruto heard footsteps approaching. Looking, Naruto smiled warmly at the person, a 6-year-old girl, with long crimson red hair tied in pigtails and bright purple eyes, wearing a white sundress. The girl looked a little before looking, spotting Naruto in the tree, smiling brightly. "Nai-san," the girl shouted. Jumping down from his perch, Naruto landed in front of the girl, who instantly wrapped her arms around him. "Hey there, Rumi-chan," Naruto said, rubbing the girl's head. This was Narumi Namikaze, Naruto's little sister, along with one of the 2 people he cares about. When Naruto had first learned he was going to have another sibling, he was angry, thinking he was once again going to be passed off. But when he first laid eyes on Narumi, this small tiny little thing, any anger he would have had for her faded away, and he swore that no matter what he would always be there for his precious Amato. "Can we go play, Nai-san?" asked Narumi, tilting her head cutely, though Naruto smiled sadly. Sorry Rumi-chan, I have to go meet Satsuki soon. Naruto said, Narumi looking down sadly. Narumi then yelped, feeling Naruto poke her forehead, smiling at her. Maybe next time Narumi-chan. Said Naruto, Narumi nodding before hugging Naruto again. Happy birthday Nai-san. Narumi said before running off. Oh right, it's my birthday. Naruto thought. It was his, Arashi, and Menma's 10th birthday, meaning he had to get gone soon as this night was always guaranteed that he'll be attacked by a mob, that and he just didn't want to be around sheep kissing his brother's asses. Later. Naruto sat in a clearing behind the Hokage monument looking up at the full moon. Soon he heard the bushes rustling. Looking, Naruto saw a girl his age coming out brushing and stray leaves off. The girl had long waist-length black hair with a blue tint, onyx-colored eyes, pale skin, wearing white shorts, a navy blue high-collared shirt with the Uchiha symbol on the back, and blue kunoichi sandals. Satsuki-chan. Naruto greeted, giving a two-finger salute. Oh, you're here already, sorry if I kept you waiting. Said Satsuki, Naruto waving it off. It's fine, I haven't been waiting that long. Naruto replied, a small smile as he looked at the girl. Satsuki Uchiha, Naruto's first and best friend. They had met each other 3 years ago, when she had caught him training alone. After that they always trained with each other whenever they could, Satsuki even inviting him over to her home a few times. Her mother Mikoto was a nice woman, always asking him how he was and even supervising his and Satsuki's training. Naruto would even say she was more of a mother to him than Kushina ever was. Her father Fugaku was fine, while her brother Itachi was alright, if a tad creepy, along with Naruto not really trusting him, considering he was in Anbu and reported to Minato. Though 2 years later, tragedy struck, the entire Uchiha clan, besides Satsuki, was massacred by Itachi. After that Satsuki shut out everyone, except Naruto, who refused to leave her side the entire time. Though she didn't show it, Satsuki was grateful for Naruto staying by her side. It also didn't help that everyone began treating her the same as Naruto's brothers, only she had it worst, being a girl, with several people trying to get control of her being the heiress of the Uchiha clan, and even some people on the council wanting to turn her into breeding stock to repopulate the Uchiha clan. She'd sooner go rogue than let that happen. Besides, she's only interested in one guy, Satsuki idly thought, glancing at Naruto. Sitting beside Naruto, they both looked up at the moon, nothing needing to be said. So, how are they? Asked Satsuki after a while. The same, I heard the pervert and hag were going to let them sign the toad and slug contracts. Naruto responded, Satsuki nodding, aware of Naruto's less than stellar relationship with his family. Just then they both noticed something strange. Naruto-kun, is it just me or is the moon turning red? Satsuki said. No, I see it too. Said Naruto, suddenly feeling drowsy. Oh, good, I thought it was just me. Satsuki trailed off before she and Naruto fell asleep. While the full moon took on a completely red appearance with black concentric rings and 9 tomos, 3 in each ring. Moon. Opening his eyes, Naruto groaned, rubbing his head, looking around, frowning, seeing he wasn't back where he was. It was in a large forest clearing, and it was daytime. His eyes then fell Satsuki waking up a short distance away. Wah, what just happened, where are we? Satsuki said. I don't know. Said Naruto, just as confused. I believe I can answer that. A female voice said, making Naruto and Satsuki whirl around to the source. They saw the person approaching them was Kagaya. Who are you and where are we? Demanded Naruto, moving in front of Satsuki. Well, that's rude making demands, but if you must know, I am Kagaya Otsutsuki. As to where you are, this is the moon. Or at least the inside of the moon, my prison. Kagaya said, getting skeptical looks from both children. Okay, then why are we here? Satsuki questioned, Kagaya walking around. That would be my doing, you see I've watched you both, Naruto Uzumaki and Satsuki Uchiha, from the moments of your birth. You both have faced many hardships, Naruto being neglected by your family in favor of your brothers who treat you as less than dirt, and you Satsuki who has lost your entire family to your own brother and seen as nothing but a tool by people who seek to take advantage of you. Kagaya said, shocking both of them at how much she knew. Well, if you know all that, but you still haven't told us why we're here. Said Naruto. To tell you that I'd have to start at the beginning, from when I first arrived on this planet, began Kagaya. Kagaya then proceeded to tell Naruto and Satsuki everything that happened from when she first landed on the planet, from devouring the Shinju fruit, her sons, becoming the Shinju, everything she witnessed from her prison, Indra and Asura's endless conflict and transmigrants, all the way up to the Kyuubi attack. When she finished, Naruto summed up both their thoughts. No offense, but your son is a dumbass. Naruto deadpanned. Who gives people power to basically do anything and not expect them to use it to kill each other better. Hagoromo basically everyone weapons and told them not to kill each other with them. Kagaya smiled at that, not taking any offense, knowing it's true her sons were both naive in their thinking. None taken. I know my son was foolish to give humanity chakra, he thought it would help bring peace, when really he helped set the seeds of war. A path his sons, my grandsons, followed, that also brings me to why I wanted to speak with you both. You see, you two Naruto and Satsuki are the newest transmigrants of Asura and Indra. Kagaya revealed, surprising them both. You mean to tell us, we have your grandsons inside us? Satsuki said, not at all pleased to learn some guy's soul was inside her. Yes. Responded Kagaya. Then how come we don't act like them? From what you've told us, all of Asura transmigrants wanted to bring peace, while Indras wanted rule, and they all hated each other. Naruto questioned. You can thank me for that. You see, while I am trapped here, I can still influence certain things, such as channeling small portions of my chakra into you both throughout your lives, suppressing both Indra and Asura. If I had not done this, you Naruto would have been a forgiving fool who forgave every bad thing done to you and obsessed with peace, while you Satsuki a revenge-driven person only caring about completing your own goals and gaining more power. Said Kagaya, both grimacing at the mental images conjured. Well, thanks for that, but you still haven't told us the reason you wanted to meet us. Said Naruto. I'm getting to that. You see, I have watched as my world has been torn apart all because of my son's foolish decisions, and I'm tired of it and seeing my chakra used by those unworthy. What I want is for you both to join me, free me, and help reclaim all my chakra. In exchange, you both shall be allowed to keep your chakra. I will also awaken both Indra and Asura's dormant powers within you, along with removing any influence they could have over you both. Think about it, you both would finally be the ones with the power and make those who mocked you or seek to use you pay in the worst way possible, taking away their power. Kagaya said. Both thought about it, Naruto picturing his family defeated at his feet powerless without their chakra, crushing everyone in Konoha, while Satsuki imagined being even closer to finally killing Itachi and avenging her clan. Narumi gets to keep her chakra. Said Naruto, refusing to hurt his sister in any way. Done. Kagaya agreed. You'll evolve my Sharingan into the Mangekyo. Satsuki added, not willing to risk killing Naruto to awaken the Mangekyo. Of course. Said Kagaya. And we will be equals in this, we won't be anyone's servants or underlings. Said Naruto. Yes. So, do we have an agreement? Kagaya said. Naruto and Satsuki looked at each other nodding. Good, now hold out your dominant arms. Said Kagaya. Doing so, Naruto held up his right while Satsuki held up her left. Grabbing both their hands, Naruto and Satsuki felt power surging through them, while also feeling something being erased, Asura and Indra. Then as quickly as it came, it stopped. I have awakened your powers, you Satsuki now have access to your Mangekyo Sharingan, and like Indra, you will not have to worry of going blind from overuse and possess the 6 paths Yin power. You Naruto will be able to access 6 paths Sage Mode, the Wood-style Kekkei Genkai, and the 6 paths Yang power. Kagaya explained. Naruto and Satsuki awed at the new power they now have. What now? Asked Naruto, eager to test his new powers. Now we talk with your tenant Naruto. Kagaya said as the surroundings changed to a sewer with a giant cage. Behind the cage were 2 giant blood-red eyes looking down at the 3 people. Naruto and Satsuki both knew this was the Kyuubi soul, Naruto having always known and having told Satsuki. Hello, Kitsumi. Kagaya said. Kitsumi stepped out of the shadows, showing her full glory, though being noticeably smaller due to losing all her chakra, before shrinking down, transforming into a teenage girl. The girl had long crimson red hair that went to her hips, matching red eyes, a curvaceous figure that was enhanced by the tight-fitting black robes with a cape that extends to the floor she was wearing, matching thigh-high length boots, and fingerless black gloves that extend to just below her elbows. Kagaya. Kitsumi growled. Now is that any way to talk to your Kasan? Kagaya said mockingly, much to Naruto and Satsuki's surprise. Don't flatter yourself, you psychotic bitch. Scoffed Kitsumi, turning away. Oh, pity, and here I was going to offer to restore your chakra, but if you don't want to listen then I'll just reabsorb you. Kagaya stepping forward, Kitsumi now shaking her head fearfully. Wait. Let's not do anything rash, I'll hear you out, alright. Said Kitsumi, not wanting to be absorbed back into Kagaya. She never wanted to become part of the Kyuubi again, she enjoyed being alive, aside from being sealed away 3 times and controlled twice. But girl. Now my offer is that I'll restore you to full power, free you from the seal, and make it so you can never be sealed again. In exchange you will stay with Naruto and Satsuki to help them in my resurrection. Kagaya said, Kitsumi narrowing her eyes. And what about my siblings? Questioned Kitsumi. While they may not always get along, they're still family. They will be sealed within the demonic statue of the outer path to become part of me once again. Kagaya said as if it was obvious. No way. Unless you agree to leave them alone, I'm not helping. Kitsumi said, Kagaya feeling her eye twitch. Fine, a compromise. I'll take the majority of your siblings' chakra, leaving behind small portions so they may replenish it over time, letting them live. said Kagaya, since all she really needed was the tailed beast's chakra, not their souls. Kitsumi nodded reluctantly. It was better than all of them simply becoming the Jubi again. And what about me, am I just supposed to hand over my chakra after I get it back? Kitsumi said, Kagaya raising a delicate brow. I never said I'd get your chakra back, I said I'd restore it. The chakra sealed in those two fools will be absorbed into the statue, said Kagaya, Kitsumi nodding slowly, thinking it's better than just losing her chakra again. Though still, the old man did everything he could to seal Kagaya away. Could she really turn her back on the man who created her own father? Kagaya noticed Kitsumi's hesitant and knew it was due to her loyalty to her son, but Kagaya knew how to break that loyalty. If you're worried about betraying my son, tell me, would it not be fair after all the times he betrayed you and the other tailed beasts? Said Kagaya, Kitsumi growling at her, wishing she wasn't locked behind the cage. The old man never betrayed us, he's the one who freed us from you and the Jubi. Kitsumi growled. Really, are you sure his intentions were pure? That you didn't trade one cage for another? Countered Kagaya. Think about it, Kitsumi. Hagoromo kept the Jubi sealed inside him until the end of his life, after he had already given everyone chakra, after both Asura and Indra were grown men strong enough with the two abilities to control the tailed beasts, the Sharingan and Wood style. Now look at you all trapped and treated as nothing but objects and weapons, all by the same people Hagoromo saw fit to give chakra to. Then there's Indra and Asura. I believe you knew their previous incarnations, Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju. Madara treated you as his pet while controlling you with his eyes, while Hashirama captured you and your siblings, selling you off to the other villagers and then having his wife seal you away, then Indra's other descendant who controlled you a second. Now tell me, if that is not betrayal, then what is? Kagaya said, as Kitsumi fell to her knees, clutching her head. Stop, please just stop. Kitsumi said pleadingly. As much as she wanted to deny it, everything Kagaya said made sense. Hagoromo could have found a way to prevent them from being sealed away, but instead he taught humans how to use chakra before releasing them, then his sons having the power to control them, and their transmigrants controlling them and turning them into weapons. Kagaya entered the cage, kneeling down, putting her hands on Kitsumi's shoulders. Join us, Kitsumi, and none of the tailed beasts will ever have to fear being sealed away again or controlled. They will be free, no one will have chakra to use against you ever again, said Kagaya. Kitsumi nodded, looking. Yes, I'll help free you, Kagaya, though one more thing, the masked man who controlled me, I get to kill him, said Kitsumi. Dead in line, sweetheart, if anyone's ripping that bastard apart it's going to be me, said Naruto, reminding them of his and Satsuki's presence. Both of you, when the times come, will be able to take revenge on the masked fool. But for now, I will restore you to your full power, Kitsumi, Kagaya said, channeling her chakra into Kitsumi. Instantly Kitsumi felt her power returning, making her grin viciously at being back to full power. While the seal keeping her locked away melted away. It's done, you're now free and all your chakra has been restored, said Kagaya, standing up. So, what do we do now? Asked Satsuki, crossing her arms. Now, you return to your bodies and train in your new powers, collect the tailed beast chakra, seal it within the demonic statue, then we will achieve our plan to stripping humans of chakra, Kagaya said, as Naruto and Satsuki began fading, showing they were returning to consciousness. Also, don't tell anyone about this meeting or your new powers, no one, said Kagaya seriously, knowing the wrong people would eventually find out. Nodding, both Naruto and Satsuki faded away. Real world. Opening his eyes, Naruto sat up, finding him and Satsuki back in the clearing. Was it just a dream? Naruto wondered. I wasn't too sure about that, said Satsuki, looking at her hand. Why is that? Questioned Naruto. In response, Satsuki showed him her left palm, where a black crescent moon was located, along with channeling chakra into her eyes, activating her Sharingan that had 3 tomos before it evolved into 3 intersecting ellipses. Shocked, Naruto looked at his right hand, seeing a white sun symbol. I wonder. Naruto thought, remembering Kagaya said she awakened the wood style in him. Placing his hand on the ground, Naruto channeled chakra through it, causing several flowers to grow. Okay, now that's cool, said Naruto with a smirk. He wished he could ruby it in his family's faces that he had the bloodline of the Shadame Hokage before using it to lock Menma and Arashi in a cage. But knew he couldn't unless wanted to answer questions he'd rather not. Don't get a swelled head, boy. A female voice, getting both their attention. Looking, they saw a fox kid sitting nearby, a fox with red eyes. Kitsumi? Naruto said, Kitsumi rolling her eyes. Who else would it be? Yes, it's me, boy, said Kitsumi, jumping on Naruto's shoulder. Don't get any ideas, boy, I just prefer you to the Uchiha, Kitsumi said, growling at Satsuki. She didn't care if she was friends with a boy, she's been controlled by 2 Uchiha before and she'll be damned if a third time happens. So, I guess now we train in our new powers, said Satsuki. Yeah, I just wish I could show Menma and Arashi just to see the fear in their eyes when they see I have the power now. Naruto said, a sadistic gleam in his eyes. Well, try to control yourself, you'll get your chance eventually, for now just be patient. Satsuki said, Naruto nodding reluctantly. Fine, though we should probably get going. Though tomorrow we'll start training. Said Naruto, Satsuki nodding in agreement. No one in the elemental countries could be aware of the consequences of what happened that night. For that one meeting marked the beginning of the end. The end of the shinobi era. 4 years have passed since Naruto and Satsuki's meeting with Kagaya, since they have trained in secret to master their new abilities. For Satsuki it was easy as she had access to the Uchiha clan's jutsu library, along with the scrolls on the Mangekyo Sharingan, to learn what abilities it granted her. Though she could only get so far with scrolls and the only people she knew who awakened the Mangekyo were her cousin Shisui Uchiha and her brother Itachi, the former of whom was dead, while the latter Satsuki intended to kill. It didn't help that while she wouldn't go blind from overuse of her Mangekyo, it still put a strain on her eyes that temporarily rendered her disoriented. Naruto meanwhile had it harder as he couldn't risk going to his own family's jutsu library, along with it not having any scrolls on the wood style. Luckily that was easily solved by breaking into the Senju compound, with the only living Senju, Tsunade, not staying in the compound. But Naruto learned quickly before he could learn wood style, he first had to master water and earth style, the two elements that made up wood style. On top of training they also had to track down the other Jinchuriki and the demonic statue, which apparently was no longer in the moon, meaning someone possessing the Rinnegan managed to summon it. Now one would think with so much to do it'd take several years to even come close to learning to master all these abilities. If not for something Naruto learned during his escapade into the Senju compound, a handy little jutsu invented by the Nidaime Hokage. Shadow Clone Jutsu. The jutsu Tobirama created after witnessing his brother's wood clone jutsu, the jutsu itself creates physical copies of the user, with each clone having an equal amount of chakra from the original. The clones are able to perform jutsu and fight, though one good hit will cause them to dispel. But what really had Naruto's attention was the Shadow Clone Jutsu's other ability, anything a clone learns or experiences was transferred back to the original. So, if someone created a single clone and both the clone and original trained for an hour, then the clone dispels the person would feel like they trained for 2 hours. But Shadow Clones Naruto and Satsuki would be able to cut years' worth of training into only a few months. It took them a few hours before they could successfully perform the Shadow Clone Jutsu, though while they could now create clones to assist in their training, they soon learned there was a limit to how many they could create. Naruto, already possessing large chakra pools thanks to his Uzumaki heritage and holding Kitsumis, could create well over 1,000 clones, combined with the power Kagaya gave him, boosted that number to 2,500 clones. Satsuki on the other hand, while having larger than average chakra pools, was only able to create 10 clones, while with the boost she got from Kagaya, the amount went up to 50. So, every day Naruto and Satsuki both went to their training ground, making as many shadow clones as possible, and set them to work. For Naruto he had 500 clones work on Taijutsu, another 500 worked on chakra control, another 500 worked on calligraphy and Fuinjutsu, another 500 worked on awakening the 6-path sage mode, 300 were assigned to begin mastering Naruto's 3 basic elements of water, earth, and wind. While the final 200 clones Naruto sent out into the elemental countries to locate the other Jinchuriki and the demonic statue. Satsuki meanwhile divided her clones in 5 groups of 10, the first group worked on increasing her chakra pools, the second worked on Taijutsu, the third worked on refining the few jutsu she already knew, the fourth worked on mastering her 2 elements of fire and lightning, while the final 10 worked on mastering her Sharingan, as even though she has it fully unlocked, didn't mean she knew how to use it. She knew Itachi had mastered the Sharingan to the point he could put someone in a Jinjutsu just by pointing at them. The real Naruto and Satsuki worked on increasing their strength, speed, and agility, as well the shadow clones transfer back everything they learn and experience that didn't include physical attributes. Once his clones had come far enough in Fuinjutsu, Naruto places gravity seals on both himself and Satsuki, both set at 5 times gravity, so that when they came off they'd get a major speed boost, while increasing the seals by ×1 whenever they started getting used to them. Naruto also made progress in his 6-path sage mode, being able to call on it, though he couldn't hold the cloak long as it put a strain on his body. While Satsuki made progress in Mangekyo abilities, having a special affinity for Amaterasu which she could shape and control in her own unique blaze style, being able to shape the black flames in a variety of ways, whether as a shield, a weapon usually a blade or arrows, combining them with hers and Naruto's techniques. She could also summon Susanoo rib cage and an arm, but still had trouble fully manifesting it. Satsuki even managed to copy a jutsu from someone neither she nor Naruto particularly liked, Kakashi Haddock, Naruto because of being his father's student and Satsuki because the man shamelessly read smut in public and he had something that didn't belong. The jutsu she copied was one she very much enjoyed, the Chidori, an S-rank assassination jutsu which she has already made different variations for. Though with Satsuki gaining her own signature jutsu with the Chidori, Naruto wanted one for himself and thus stole his father's Rasengan scroll, not only learning and mastering the Rasengan in a week, but creating a stronger version he calls Spiraling Ring. He also added his wind affinity to the Rasengan, something Minato, Jiraiya and Kakashi have never managed, thus creating his second original jutsu wind style. Rasen Shuriken. Naruto himself particularly enjoyed showcasing his new strength during academy spars, brutally taking his opponents and sadistically, given he's always been on the receiving end of the beatings, it was nice to be the beater for once. Especially when the parents of the children he brutalizes try seeking retribution only to be sent to the hospital. Satsuki had to intervene a few times before Naruto accidentally revealed too much about his skills. Being one of the only 3 people that can successfully calm him down, the other 2 being Narumi and Kitsumi. Though while Naruto's love of battle could get out of hand, he could still keep his cool, which Satsuki was thankful for not wanting Naruto's trigger-happy personality to interfere with their plans. Currently Naruto laid asleep in bed, Satsuki and Kitsumi pressed against him, though soon Naruto woke up. Opening his eyes, Naruto smiled at the red and black hair splayed across his chest. A year ago he and Satsuki finally came out to each other about their feelings, quickly followed by a heated makeout session. A few months later Kitsumi revealed she had developed feelings for Naruto, and both she and Satsuki had agreed to share him after much arguing and Naruto, making sure they didn't kill each other. They've never gone farther than making out and some groping, wanting to wait until they're older before going any farther. Running his hands along their sides, eliciting moans from both beauties, Naruto would love nothing more than to stay where he was, but knew he and Satsuki had to get up for the graduation exam at the academy. Concentrating, Naruto vanished from where he is, appearing beside the bed. That was another of his techniques, Shunpo, a technique allowing him to teleport short distances instantaneously. It was like the Hiraishin, but didn't require a marker. Heading to the bathroom, Naruto took a quick shower before getting dressed. His attire consisted of a sleeveless dark gray guy, a long-sleeved black undershirt with a turtleneck, a red sash, black pants, and white boots. Physically he looked the same, only standing taller and more muscular, his hair still colored black, only looking darker ever since meeting Kagaya, spiked up more with a single lock of hair hanging over the right side of his face. Heading into the kitchen, Naruto began cooking breakfast, knowing Satsuki and Kitsumi will be up soon. A year after meeting Kagaya, Naruto had moved in with Satsuki in her apartment, which was big enough for all 3 of them. Only Narumi knew Naruto lived there, occasionally visiting her brother there. It hadn't really surprised Naruto his family hadn't even noticed his absence, having long since accepted that they'll always care about Menma and Arashi because they held Kitsumi's chakra. Naruto still looked forward to the day he gets to tear the chakra out of them all and having them powerless at his feet. Soon Naruto heard both Satsuki and Kitsumi waking up just in time as he finished. Looking, Naruto smirked at what they were wearing, or lack thereof. Satsuki had thrown on a shirt 2 sizes too small as it strained against her deep breasts, while showing her lacy black panties and smooth pale legs. Kitsumi meanwhile hadn't bothered putting a shirt on, wearing only matching crimson lace underwear. Kitsumi, seeing Naruto staring, smirked, leaning forward, pushing her breasts up. "Like what you see Naruto Ku," and Kitsumi purred. "Very," replied Naruto, as Satsuki smiled, wrapping her arms around Naruto's neck, pecking him on the lips. "Yes, well, just a few more years then you'll get see what's underneath," Satsuki whispered in his ear. As much as I'd love to continue, we still have to get to the academy," reminded Naruto. Satsuki groaned at the reminder. 4 years stuck in the academy surrounded by fangirls who only cared about finding Prince Charming to save them and boys that had fantasies of what being a shinobi. The worst part for Satsuki were the fanboys though, she lost count of how many times she had to resist using Amaterasu on them. The 2 worst were Menma and Arashi, both believing she belonged to them. The only thing stopping her from killing them was that Naruto already called dibs on ending their lives. But she was finding more tempting each day he saw either of them go near Satsuki. "Hey, you think I wanna be surrounded by annoying brats that think being a ninja means rescuing princesses and saving the world? I don't, but look at this way, after today, we're one step closer to never seeing this village again," said Naruto. Satsuki nodded before going to dress. Her attire consisted of a dark gray jacket with violet lining and dark blue edging, unzipped halfway to show a dark blue crop top. The coat has darker gray short sleeves, a thick collar that completely encircles her neck, and 2 long dark blue trimmed rectangular tails which are detachable, form-fitting black pants. Around her hips and over the tails of her coat is a gray belt which has 2 pieces of dark gray material trimmed in blue attached to it. The first covers from her left hip to the back of the belt and is folded over the belt, and the second is attached from the right hip and almost around to the other piece of material. Knee-high black boots with metal caps on the heel and toe, with a heel cap attaching to a violet strap across the front of her ankle, and a gold zipper on the upper half of the front of the boots. A single small buckled strap is on the upper outside of her boots, and a purple bandana tied around her left knee. The pair of black fingerless gloves with long dark blue cuffs reaching to mid-forearm complete the outfit. Her waist-length hair was done up in a ponytail with her bangs curving to the left side of her face. In short, Naruto could die happy knowing he's seen this vision of beauty. But that all three ate breakfast before heading to the academy, Kitsumi transforming into her fox form and jumping on Naruto's shoulder. When they arrived, they took their seats at the back of the class, blocking out the noisy students. It wasn't long until the door opened again, and walking in like they owned the place was none other than Menma and Arashi, both wearing matching arrogant smirks. Naruto shook his head when he saw they were wearing blindingly bright blue and neon orange jumpsuits. The only thing missing was bright flashing signs saying, "Here I am, please kill me," above their heads. I swear, how is Naruto-kun related to those idiots? Naruto and Satsuki both thought. Though they were pulled from their thoughts when they heard what sounded like a stampede coming down the hall, making Satsuki groan. Soon the door was slammed open and two blurs, one pink and one blonde, burst into the room. "Ah, I win, forehead," shouted the blonde. "As if pig, my foot went through the door first," the pink shouted. Bang. Naruto patted Satsuki comfortingly as she repeatedly banged her head on the desk. The reason being the two girls that just entered, Sakura Haruno and Ino Yamanaka, two of the worst fangirls for Menma and Arashi, and insults to real Kunoichi. Whenever Satsuki saw them, she would be reminded of when her mother would come home ranting about how fangirls are the reason real Kunoichi aren't taken seriously and the injustice of them being allowed to become ninja. Safe to say Satsuki developed the same hatred. "No way I'm sitting with Menma-kun and Arashi-kun, Ino pig," screeched Sakura. "Yeah right, like they want that huge forehead blocking their view of me," Ino shouted. The first chance I get, those two will die." Satsuki thought, determination burning in her eyes to end the wretched fangirls. Eventually the sensei, Haruka Yamino, entered the classroom, with Naruto smirking dangerously. They used to have another teacher, Mizuki, shame that he had an unfortunate accident. Said accident being Naruto impaling him on a truth-seeking ball when he caught the team staring at Satsuki. Luckily Naruto didn't have to worry about disposing of the body, as anything hit by the truth-seeking balls is reduced to ash. "Alright everyone, settle down," said Haruka, gaining a tick mark when no one listened. "I said shut up, you little brats," Haruka shouted using his big head no jutsu. Instantly everyone quieted down, making Haruka nod. "Alright, as you all know, the graduation exam is today. First is the written test, then the practical test where you'll show your mastery of the substitution, transformation, and clone jutsus. We will begin the written test now," said Haruka before passing out the tests. The test lasted an hour, with Naruto and Satsuki finishing at the same time, followed shortly by Sakura. Once the test was finished, Haruka collected the papers and started the practical test. "When I call your name, come into the back room and demonstrate the 3 jutsu and receive your forehead protector if you pass. Shino Aburam," called Haruka, said boy going into the room, coming out shortly with a headband around his forehead. On it went Haruka called students, some coming out with headbands, some not, looking down sadly at failing, a few even running out crying. "Satsuki Uchiha," Haruka called. "Good luck," said Naruto smiling at her, which Satsuki returned. "You too," Satsuki said walking down the steps. "Hope we're on the same team, Satsuki-chan," said Menma as he and Arashi leered at her figure, both sporting forehead protectors tied around their heads, sending shivers up her spine, and not the pleasurable ones Naruto gives her, the kind where she needs a shower. Naruto glared at his brothers, mentally counting to 1,000 to resist ripping their throat out, while Kitsumi nuzzled his cheek to calm him down, Naruto nodding in thanks. Satsuki entered the room seeing Haruka behind a table with multiple headbands and a clipboard in hand. "Alright Satsuki, perform the substitution, transformation, and finally create 3 clones," Haruka said. Crossing her arms, Satsuki wordlessly switched places with a chair and switched back. Next she transformed into her mother, Mikoto Uchiha, in her Kunoichi gear. Finally, she made a half-ram seal creating 3 shadow clones. Haruka stared shock, not only had she performed the substitution and transformation without hand seals, something not even Menma or Arashi could do even trained by some of the strongest ninja in Konoha, but then demonstrated B-rank forbidden jutsu with ease. "So, do I pass?" Satsuki said rhetorically. "Oh, why yes of course Satsuki, here's your headband," said Haruka, handing Satsuki a headband missing the sneer she gave it before tying it loosely around her neck. "Naruto Uzumaki," Haruka called once Satsuki exited the room. Naruto walked past Satsuki to the room, hearing Arashi say something. "Good luck at Taudo," sneered Arashi. Naruto ignored the comment, angering his brothers hoping to get a rise from him, knowing neither could touch him. Entering the room, Iruka told Naruto the same thing as the others. Once again, Iruka was shocked when Naruto performed the substitution and transformation without seals before making 3 shadow clones. Could Naruto and Satsuki have trained together? Iruka wondered, handing Naruto a headband that he tied around his left arm. Later, Naruto and Satsuki walked out of the academy after all the students had been tested. Moving there through the crowd of parents either congratulating the children who passed or comforting the ones who failed. Though Naruto stopped short of the gate when he saw his parents congratulating Menma and Arashi for graduating. While Naruto no longer cares for earning the Namikaze family or the rest of their ilk's affection, he supposed now he just found them pathetic. Pathetic in that they're so focused on fulfilling some half-baked prophecy spoken by a senile toad about some miracle child that'd bring peace to the world. "Hey, are you alright?" asked Satsuki, shaking him a little. "Yeah, just contemplating how delusional they all are," Naruto replied. Suddenly Naruto was tackled by a red blur, nearly knocking him down. "Nai-san. You passed, I knew you would, I just knew it," cheered Narumi as Naruto smiled, patting his sister's back. "Of course, I passed, did you expect anything less?" Naruto said. "What about me, Narumi-chan, I passed too," said Satsuki as Narumi let go of Naruto and hugged Satsuki. "I knew you'd pass to Satsuki-ni," Narumi said, looking up grinning widely, which Satsuki returned. When Satsuki had first met the little girl, she already knew she was hooked. Narumi was a breath of fresh air in a rather grim life. It helped that she now knew Naruto was good with children. After their first meeting, Narumi had taken to calling her Satsuki-ni, which warmed the Uchiha's heart. "Nai-san, now that you and Satsuki-ni are ninja, does that mean you're going to be going on missions now?" asked Narumi as the 10-year-old jumped on Naruto's back, arms wrapped around his neck, Kitsumi jumping on Naruto's head. "Yep, but only after we're assigned a team, then we'll be going on missions," answered Naruto. "That means I won't get to see you as much anymore," Narumi muttered sadly. "You know, Narumi, me and Naruto were going to go out and celebrate graduating, would you like to come?" Satsuki offered, making Narumi's face light up and nod rapidly. But that the 4, including Kitsumi still in disguise, left the academy. Next day. And back here again. Naruto thought, tapping on the desk, his eyes closed, while Satsuki leaned back bored. While they've both graduated, they now had to be put on a team with a third member under a Jonin instructor, which sadly mean they had to endure the academy for one last day. Kitsumi had chosen to stay home rather than join them. Iruka had already showed up and begun listing off the different teams, now both were just waiting to see what team they were on. Team 7, Menma Namikaze, Arashi Namikaze, and Sakura Haruno under Kakashi Haddock, said Iruka. "Yeah, true love conquers all. In your face, no pig," shrieked Sakura, much to Naruto and Satsuki annoyance. "Don't," Naruto whispered to Satsuki without opening his eyes. "One word, that's all it'd take, and I'd have ended that howler monkey," hissed Satsuki, her Mangekyo Sharingan already activated, ready to unleash black flames on the fangirl. "As much as I'd love to see that, you do realize we'd be forced to make a quick escape for murder. So, just hold yourself back, and when the chance presents itself you can incinerate as many fangirls as you want," said Naruto, Satsuki smiling sadistically at the thought. "Team 13, Naruto Uzumaki and Satsuki Uchiha under Kushina Uzumaki," said Iruka, Naruto's eyes snap open. "What?" growled Naruto, not expecting this. Well, he likes being on a team with Satsuki, his mother being his instructor though wasn't something he could tolerate. "Now your senseis will be here soon, so for now relax and wait. And once congratulations on becoming ninja of Konoha," said Iruka, leaving the classroom. It didn't take long before Kushina walked in with 2 other Jonin instructors. "Team 8 with me," said the red-eyed woman. "Team 10 with me," the man said. "Team 13 meet me at training ground 13," Kushina said before shunshining away. Naruto and Satsuki followed in a Shunpo and a lightning Shunshin respectively, surprising Kushina that they knew how to teleport. "Naruto, I didn't know you could use Shunshin," said Kushina, looking at her son. "Yeah, there's a lot about me you don't know," Naruto said with more bite than intended, making Kushina flinch a little. "Anyway, let's start off by introducing each, your likes, dislikes, and hobbies. I'll start. My likes are ramen, pranking, training, and my family," Naruto scoffed at that. "My dislikes are traitors, a certain masked team, and boring people. My hobbies include training, pranking, and spending time with my family." "Alright Naruto, you go next," said Kushina. "My likes are training, Satsuki-chan, Narumi-chan, and Kitsumi-chan. My dislikes are a masked team, weaklings, and 2 annoying pests. My hobbies include training and spending time with Satsuki-chan, Kitsumi-chan, and Narumi-chan," said Naruto, Kushina nodding. "Okay Satsuki, you next," Kushina said. My likes are the same as Naruto-kun's, my dislikes are a certain man, loudmouth losers, the color orange, and weaklings, my hobbies are training," said Satsuki. "Alright, now then usually this is the part where I'd say you aren't really genin and you'd have to pass a secret test and blah blah blah. That all sounds rather boring so instead, congratulations we're officially Team 13," said Kushina, Satsuki sweat dropping while Naruto's eye twitched. "This is the woman Ka-san told me was one of the deadliest kunoichi alive," Satsuki thought. "I see where Menma and Arashi get their childish personality, does that mean they got their overinflated egos from Namikaze?" Naruto wondered mentally. "Alright Team 13 let's go get our first mission," said Kushina snapping them from their thoughts as all three walked to the Hokage's office. Time skip 3 weeks. 3 weeks have passed since Naruto and Satsuki were put on Team 13 under Kushina, since then they have done several missions. One thing both could be thankful of with Kushina as their sensei is that she absolutely refused to do D-rank missions, or as they call them chores, people are too lazy to do themselves. Seriously they're ninja, trained to kill, not babysit children or walk dogs. So, they mostly did C-rank missions, usually escort or eliminating bandits, and when they weren't doing missions they had to train or spar with Kushina. Neither Naruto or Satsuki enjoyed training with Kushina as it meant they had hold back from their full power as to not reveal what they could really do. Currently they were heading to the Hokage's office to get another mission. After knocking they entered seeing Minato with piles of paperwork on his desk. "Ready for another mission Minato-kun," said Kushina. "Ah, Team 13 I was just about to call you anyway. Recently Team 7 has taken their first C-rank mission to the Land of Waves, unfortunately the client lied about the mission's rank, though they chose to continue the mission. During the journey they ran into Zabuza Mamachi, Kakashi was able to defeat him before a hunter nin showed up and took the body, but Kakashi believed it was Zabuza's accomplice and so has requested another team be sent as backup. So, Team 13 your mission to travel to the Land of Waves and assist Team 7 in protecting the bridge builder Tazuna," ordered Minato. "Hi, we'll head out immediately," Kushina said before turning to her students. "Alright team meet at the gates in an hour after packing all the supplies you'll need for this mission," said Kushina, Naruto and Satsuki nodding before teleporting away to pack. Though Naruto made a quick stop at Anbu headquarters, sneaking into where they keep records of all the Anbu members and their completed missions. "Let's see Anbu Weasel, where are aha there you are," thought Naruto grabbing the file. Opening Naruto flipped through the different reports before stopping on the last one, the last mission Anbu Weasel aka Itachi Uchiha took before going rogue. The elimination of the Uchiha clan. With each word Naruto's eyes widened further, the Uchiha clan were planning coup to take over the village, with Itachi acting as the Hokage's spy and eventually agreeing to be the one to eliminate the Uchiha clan on the condition that Satsuki wasn't to be harmed. Itachi sacrificed everything to prevent Konoha from being plunged into a civil war, one that would very likely lead to the Fourth Shinobi War, and to protect his little sister. Naruto sealed the file away, knowing he'd have to show Satsuki she deserved to know the real reason why her family was taken from her. Later gates. Naruto and Satsuki arrived at the gate seeing Kushina already waiting for them. "Alright team let's move out," said Kushina. Instantly all three took off running towards Wave Country, Naruto and Satsuki sharing a look nodding, knowing now was the perfect chance to enact their plan. Naruto and Satsuki looked around the Land of Waves, seeing the disrepair the town was in, with several people being on the streets. "It's sad isn't it? Seeing these people suffering like this because some tyrant," Kushina stated, Satsuki humming in thought with her arms crossed behind her back while Naruto remained silent. After a while they arrived at the bridge builder Tazuna's house where Team 7 should be. Knocking on the door the three waited a few moments before it was opened a middle-aged woman. "Yes?" the woman asked. "Hi, we're the backup team sent to assist Team 7. Kushina introduced, the woman gaining a look of realization. "Oh. Right Kakashi did mention another team would be showing up. Please come in, I'm Tsunami, Tazuna's daughter," Tsunami said stepping aside to let them. "I'm Kushina Uzumaki, these are my students Satsuki Uchiha and my son Naruto Uzumaki," said Kushina, Naruto scoffing when she called him her son. "Let's get this over with," Naruto muttered brushing past both Kushina and Tsunami. Entering the living room Naruto saw Menma, Arashi, Sakura and Kakashi sitting around. "Oh how the mighty have fallen," Naruto commented seeing the crutches next to Kakashi and Menma and Arashi looking a little worse for wear. His comment had their attention turned to him, his brothers and Sakura glaring at him, while Kakashi merely glanced at him before going back to his book. "What are you doing here loser?" demanded Menma as Kushina and Satsuki entered. "We're the team sent to assist Usachi," said Kushina, the two scoffing and sneering at Naruto. "Well you'll be able to help Kasan, but the loser will just get in the way. And don't worry Tsuki-chan will protect you," Arashi said shamelessly looking Satsuki up and down. Naruto bristled at them blatantly aying his girlfriend. And while he could care less about what they think of him, that didn't stop Naruto's anger at being looked down on by this pathetic weaklings. And yet you are the ones that needed another team to back you up. So much for the sons of the great Yondaime, guess all that training amount to nothing. Naruto taunted, Menma and Arashi's faces turning red at the insult. Naruto, stop antagonizing your brothers. Kushina scolded. Glaring at her from the corner of his eye, Naruto turned on his heel and left the house, a worried Satsuki going after him, knowing nothing good would happen of Naruto going off on his own. Satsuki found Naruto in the forest knocking trees down, throwing them into the air and destroying them. Throwing another one into the air, Naruto's hand was surrounded by purple chakra, surrounded his right hand before a purple blade made of pure chakra shot out of his hand and impaled the tree, slicing through it. Though just as quickly the blade vanished and Naruto fell to his knees gripping his now burned and shaking hand. "You idiot," Satsuki said, running over to him. "What were you thinking? You know you can't handle creating an energy blade like that as you are now," Satsuki admonished. "I was thinking I've had to restrain myself for 4 years from just tearing those worthless insects apart." Naruto snarled with a murderous glare, one that actually made Satsuki flinch. She knew Naruto held nothing but hatred for his brothers. It was different than her hatred for Itachi. She once loved and looked up to Itachi, then he murdered their parents and massacred their clan, and any love or respect she had for her brother turned into a burning hatred and need for revenge. But for Naruto, he had always been second to his brothers and treated as a punching bag by them. There was never any sibling love between the three, only pure hatred. Satsuki wouldn't admit out loud, but she had always been terrified of what Naruto would become if his hatred consumed him with no one around to keep him in check. "I don't think anyone would be able to stop him," Satsuki thought grimly. Looking at his hand, Naruto saw it was fully healed, but a few tremors still went through it. Clenching his fist, Naruto breathed deeply, willing it to stop. "I'm good now," said Naruto, standing, but Satsuki stopped him and grabbed his hand. "No, let me see," Satsuki said. "I said I'm fine." Naruto was cut off when Satsuki looked at him warningly. "You're lucky you can even still feel your hand. You know it's dangerous when you use the advanced version of the God Split Cut," Satsuki said as her hands gained a soft green glow. The God Split Cut is another of Naruto's original techniques, one that was pure shape transformation. The idea was to coat his hand in a field of chakra to act as a powerful blade. It took months for Naruto to get it down, and when he did, it was sharp enough to slice clean through a boulder. He even taught it to Satsuki to see if she could make her own improvements. But Naruto didn't stop there, wanting to create more powerful versions. So far he's only been able to create a blade of pure energy that was more powerful than the God Split Cut and used to keep his opponents at more of distance. He called it Violent Fierce God Slicer. Of course, whenever Naruto tries using it, he damages his hand and runs the risk of permanently damaging the nerves in his hand, only able to use it safely when using the aura he creates with his 6-path Sage mode. His body just can't handle the power, so Satsuki made him swear to use it as a last resort, at least until he can find a way to use without damaging his hand. Satsuki soon finished healing his hand. She had learned basic medical ninjutsu, knowing it'd be good for one of them to learn it. "There, you're luckily it wasn't anything permanent," Satsuki said. Naruto didn't say anything, merely looking at Satsuki intensely. Looking up, Satsuki locked eyes with Naruto. For several moments both of them just looked at each other. After a few moments, Naruto raised his hand, grabbing a strand of Satsuki's hair that fell in front of her face and brushed it behind her ear. Satsuki said, a faint blush, not used to Naruto doing anything like that. "Before we left Konoha, I found something that you should know about," said Naruto suddenly while pulling out the file he took. Looking at the file, Satsuki felt a sense of dread wash over her when she saw it was Anbu Weasel's, her brother's Anbu name, mission file. Turning back to Naruto, Satsuki's feeling of dread wasn't helped when she saw his expression. Time skip 5 days. Naruto blitzed past several thugs with his God Split Cut activated. Turning to them, Naruto smirked cruelly when blood exploded out of their chests before falling over dead. All around Naruto were dozens of bodies, all with similar injuries. These were Gato's hired help, all of whom Naruto has taken care of, while Satsuki went to deal with Zabuza, his accomplice, Gato, and anyone else that got in her way. After Satsuki had read the file Naruto gave her, she had turned scarily calm, Naruto having expected her to get angry or sad learning the truth of her family's massacre. Instead, she just became calm, not reacting to anything that happened around her. Until that little brat had to open his big mouth, thought Naruto with frown. Flashback. Everyone was gathered at the table in Tezuna's house after taking turns guarding Tezuna and the bridge and his family. Menma and Arashi were talking animatedly with their mother, Sakura was fawning over the former two, Kakashi was reading his smut while somehow eating without removing his mask, and Naruto and Satsuki simply ate silently. "Why do you bother?" Inari asked, looking at the ninja. said Kakashi glancing up from his book. Why do you bother? You can't beat Gato, no one can. You all come here act like you know anything about suffering, but you don't. You all live cushy and comfortable lives in your village, none of you know anything about suffering. So why don't you all just leave before you die? Inari shouted. Suddenly, before anyone could react or say anything, Satsuki suddenly had Inari by his throat, slamming him against the wall. She glared at him with her Mangekyo Sharingan blazing in her eyes. Little brats like you should learn to keep their mouths shut. Jinjutsu. Endless nightmare. Satsuki said, casting the Jinjutsu. Not even a second later, the boy screamed in agony before slumping unconscious. Dropping the boy carelessly, Satsuki turned her glare to Tsunami and Tazuna, freezing them in place. Learn to teach your brat to keep his mouth shut, otherwise I'll do worse than simply trap him in a nightmare world. Satsuki said, vanishing in a flash of lightning before anyone could say anything. Then flashback. The Jinjutsu she had used wasn't anything too dangerous, it just trapped Inari in a nightmare world where he experienced all the pain and suffering Naruto and Satsuki went through in their lives. A sort of downgraded version of Tsukiyomi, where it feels like years in the Jinjutsu, but only a second passes in the real world. But it doesn't leave the victim in a coma, just unresponsive for a few days, and probably some lasting mental scarring, depending on what Satsuki does to them in the Jinjutsu. Shaking those thoughts for now, Naruto grabbed 2 semi-intact bodies and pulled out 2 sealing tags. Placing the tags on the back of the bodies next, Naruto watched as the corpses began transforming before his eyes. In a matter of minutes, gone were the bodies of 2 of Gato's thugs, and in their place was his own dead body along with Satsuki's. They were completely identical down to their clothing, and the best part was any tests performed on the bodies would come up as matches that they were in fact he and Satsuki. I see you're finished. Satsuki said, walking up to him, dragging Zabuza behind her and carrying his sword. Just finished. He's not dead. Stated Naruto upon seeing Zabuza not having a single wound on him. Physically he's alive, mentally however, Satsuki trailed off with a shrug, Naruto nodding when he finally noticed the glassy look in Zabuza's eyes. His partner? I'm sure I left them in enough pieces to be recognizable. Replied Satsuki neutrally. Unlike Naruto, Satsuki didn't find a sadistic pleasure in killing her opponents. The only people she'll enjoy killing are Itachi and everyone else involved with her clan's near extinction. While Satsuki now knew the truth behind why Itachi massacred their clan, that didn't lessen her hatred for him, it only increased, along with now being directed at those who gave the order. Did Satsuki understand why Itachi did it? Yes, she did. If the Uchiha staged a coup that would have led to conflict in all of Konoha, that could have potentially started the Fourth Shinobi War. But that didn't mean she didn't think there could have been a better way. Instead, they killed all of her clan members, including the ones that had nothing to do with the coup, like the children, elderly, and all the others not involved. The only thing Satsuki wanted from Itachi was look him in the eye and know who it was that helped him massacre their clan. Then she'll drive a Chidori through his heart. Nodding, Naruto pulled out another seal, this one a modified explosive seal, and placed it on Zabuza's chest. Satsuki meanwhile slashed at the disguised corpses with Kubikirabucho, make it like they died at Zabuza's hand. Ready? Naruto asked, Satsuki nodding as she stabbed the Zanbato in the ground. But that Naruto wrapped an arm around Satsuki's waist and shot up into the sky. While he might not be able to access Six-Path Sage mode, he still had access to several of its abilities, such as flight. When the two were high enough in the air, they both looked at Gato's compound. Without a word, Naruto made a half-ram seal, detonating the explosive tag he put on Zabuza. The effect was instant as the entire compound and all the bodies were consumed in a massive fiery explosion, consuming everything it came in contact with. That should get their attention. Said Naruto, speaking of the Konoha ninja. Let's get going. We have a lot to do, locating the other Jinchuriki, finding the person who summoned the Jito Meizo, and whoever has the Rinnegan to keep summoning it. Satsuki listed. One problem at a time. How about finding a way to seal the tailed beasts into something until we can locate the statue? Said Naruto, wanting to focus on one thing at a time. Very well. I believe it'd also be prudent to capture the Jinchuriki that aren't well liked in their villages. If they aren't liked, it'll be easier to take them and not worry about repercussions. Satsuki added. Then your best bet would be the Jinchuriki in Suna, Iwa, and Taki. Those villages either only use their Jinchuriki as weapons or don't care about them. It'd be best to avoid the Jinchuriki in Kumo, as they're not only liked, but the Hachibi's Jinchuriki is the Reikage's brother and can access a full-tailed beast transformation. Tatsumi said from within the seal, while she was free, she could still freely enter and exit Naruto's mind, having learned the living conditions from eavesdropping on conversations between Kushina and Minato. Sometimes it was useful. Her previous host was the wife of a cage, you never know what you learn. Grunting in annoyance, Naruto frowned at the last part. He would have loved to go against a fully realized Jinchuriki. But he knew his limits and wasn't about to go against an opponent that could crush him. It'd be best to go after the Suna and Taki Jinchurikis, since those villages only have one each, while Iwa has two," said Satsuki after a moment. "Alright. But first, what about something to keep the tailed beasts sealed in when we extract them?" Naruto reminded. Well, they'd be able to seal Shukaku into an object, the Nanabi needed something stronger to hold it. "I may have a solution." Katsumi spoke up. "What is it?" Naruto thought. "The amber purifying pot, it's one of the treasured tools the sage left behind. It's able to record the voice of anyone that responds to the wielder. If you're able to get the Jinchuriki or my siblings to respond to you, you can seal them in the pot until you get the Jito Meizo," Katsumi explained. "Great, where is it?" asked Naruto. "Kumo," replied Katsumi while looking off to the side and began whistling innocently. Naruto's face went blank while his eye twitched. Of course it is. Naruto thought. Naruto relayed what Katsumi told him to Satsuki, who cursed silently that one of the possibly best ways to capture the tailed beasts was in the one village they wanted to avoid until they were stronger. "How about for now we focus on increasing our own strength, and if we come across a Jinchuriki, then we'll capture them and figure out things from there," Naruto suggested. "That'd probably be best for now," agreed Satsuki. "Well, they're both strong, compared to people who are cage level or higher, they're still weak." Naruto could only hold his 6-path Sage mode for a few moments before he had to release it. He still needed to practice more mastering wood style before it was strong enough to restrain a tailed beast, not to mention he's still working on a few jutsu he want to improve on, namely adding his other elements to his Rasen Shuriken and a more powerful version of Spiraling Ring. Satsuki meanwhile needed more practice with her Mangekyo, as well she didn't need to worry about going blind, they still put a strain on her eyes. She could only really use Amaterasu effortlessly, being able to summon, extinguish, and manipulate the black flames. But Susanoo was still difficult to summon fully, so far she's only to summon the basic upper skeleton. If she wanted any hope of facing larger opponents, she'd need to work on creating a full-body Susanoo. She's also working on different for her Chidori, even working on a way to using natural lightning. They both realized they had a lot of work to do. Time skip 4 days. Konoha. Minato looked up when the door to his office opened, showing Kushina, Menma, and Arashi. The Hokage noticed that Kushina looked to have been crying recently. "Kushina, you're back already. Why are you with Menma and Arashi, shouldn't they with their own team? And where are your students?" Minato asked with a frown, Kushina looking ready to cry again, while Menma and Arashi scoffed. "The idiot got himself blown up trying to fight Zabuza," sneered Menma. "And he had to drag Satsuki along with him." Arashi said with a scowl that the loser got Satsuki killed. What?" said a quieter voice, getting the four's attention. Looking, they saw Narumi standing in the doorway. "Then Naruto Nai and saw Satsuki ni are dead," Narumi said, looking at her Kasan pleadingly that it wasn't true. "Unfortunately her other brothers to take hope from her." "That's right, brat, the loser finally did us all the favor and got himself killed," Arashi said cruelly. "Yeah, now we don't have to put up with that waste of space anymore," added Menma, neither of the two caring if they hurt their sister with their words, as both boys didn't like their sister for taking away attention that should rightfully be theirs. Narumi felt tears gather in her eyes at every word her mean brothers said. Naruto and Satsuki were dead, gone, she'd never be able to see them again. Menma and Arashi continuing to mock Naruto didn't help, as Narumi covered her ears trying to block them out, but it was no use, as she couldn't block out what she just heard. Menma and Arashi's taunting of Naruto was suddenly cut off when Narumi let loose a loud piercing scream, while dozens of golden chains shot out of her back. The chains instantly shot out towards a shocked Menma and Arashi and impaled into their arms, legs, sides, and every other non-lethal area of their bodies, while 2 chains stabbed both boys right between their legs, cutting away what made them both male. Both boys screamed in agony at being impaled by the chains and at the loss of their manhoods, though their screams were cut off when more chains wrapped around their throats, strangling them. Meanwhile, Minato and Kushina snapped out of their shock seeing their daughter activate her adamantine sealing chains and prepared to stop, but soon found themselves restrained by the chains as well, though thankfully not impaling them like with Menma and Arashi. They couldn't escape as their chakra was quickly suppressed, and they knew it was hopeless to try breaking the chains that are strong enough to hold the Kyuubi. "Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up," Narumi screamed, glaring at them all through tear-filled eyes. "This is your fault," Narumi said to her parents. "If you had just trained Nai-san then he wouldn't be gone. But you didn't, you only cared about them," said Narumi venomously towards Menma and Arashi, who both started turning blue from lack of air. "All because of some stupid prophecy by some stupid old toad that smokes all the time," Narumi said, remembering Naruto telling her the reason why their parents focused so much on Menma and Arashi. "And now he's gone. My brother's gone and it's all your fault," screamed Narumi, her chains lashing out wildly. "Then Narumi sweetie just calm down," Minato started only to be cut off. "No. You aren't my parents anymore and they were never my brothers. I only have one brother and a sister and they're gone because of you. I hate you. Narumi shouted, running out of the office, her chains releasing the Namikaze family. Menma and Arashi hit the ground unconscious from lack of air and blood loss from their injuries. Minato quickly went to check on his sons and get them to the hospital. Kushina meanwhile curled up into herself crying, as not only she lost a son she's neglected, but also her only daughter. And it was all her fault. But Narumi. As she left the office, she went into the forest of death to calm herself down. How dare they, her former brothers, not care about Naruto and Satsuki being dead? She asked herself after showing her family what she can actually do. Until a voice called Narumi, as it was Anko who was the voice. Hey. What is a girl like you doing in this forest at night? Anko asked Narumi. Just trying to cool off. Narumi answered her. Why? Anko asked her. As Narumi explained to Anko about Naruto and Satsuki's deaths and that she disowned her family. Even the physical abuses they did to him just for having the Kyuubi soul inside him. Her brothers saying that they were grateful that Naruto died but angry that Satsuki did. This made Anko very angry that she unknowingly changed into her level 2 curse seal mode, which scared Narumi a bit until she saw her scaly hands and suppressed it until she became normal again. Calm yourself, Anko. Don't give in. She said to herself as she saw Narumi crying that her family would do that, and she knows the Uzumaki creed of family above all, as she falls to the ground in sadness. There Narumi. Anko said, trying to comfort Narumi despite not having experience with children due to being Orochimaru's former apprentice. She picks up Narumi, who fell asleep, and carry her to her home to rest. Next day morning. Narumi woke up on an unfamiliar bed and smelled breakfast that Anko was cooking. Finally, you woke up since you were crying in your sleep. Anko said as she gave Narumi a plate for breakfast as she ate it. Sorry for the trouble and thanks for letting me sleep here. Narumi told her. It's no problem at all, brat. Anko told her as Narumi kept eating. When you finish eating I'll walk you to the academy, okay? Anko said, which Narumi nodded. Luckily, she had her personal belongings in a storage seal just in case. The academy. Anko drops off Narumi and waved goodbye to her. As she composes herself as she enters the classroom and sits next to Konohamaru, the grandson of Hiruzen Sarutobi, the former 3rd Hokage. Hey Narumi. Konohamaru greeted his friend. Oh hey Maru. Narumi told him his nickname she gave him, which to her is good since she doesn't like saying the Konoha part. As she looks towards the door she saw Menma, Arashi and Sakura with Kakashi going to the Hokage's office for another mission. She scoffed until Kushina saw Narumi. Narumi, where were you? We were looking all over for you. Kushina said to her worryingly. I was at a friend's house. She blankly stated, annoyed by her mere presence. Hama Narumi, we're having sushi, your favorite food. Kushina said to her daughter. No. She stated blankly again. What? Kushina asked. What part of disowning you guys you didn't understand, because the only ones who I had as a family are dead and I want nothing to do with you ever again, you shitty mother. Narumi shouted at Kushina, whose hair was standing like 9 tails menacingly. How dare you say I am a shitty mother? Kushina yelled until Narumi used her sealing chains on her to suppress her chakra. Of course you are. What kind of mother would hit her child for something he never did while his brother get away scot-free? What kind of mother would neglect their other child for a fucking prophecy that was told by a pervert whose fan reads porn in front of children? You are a disgrace to the Uzumaki clan. Don't you remember the creed, Kushina? What was it again? Oh right. Family above all else. You're no better than Tsunade, especially who is our grandma from your side of the family. She makes Dan and Nawaki roll in their graves from also neglecting Naruto, and now he and Satsuki are dead because you never trained him. She told Kushina in anger as she threw Kushina out of the classroom, while Iruka and her classmates were looking at her in fear except 3 particular kids. I think I'm in love. Konohamaru said while looking and blushing towards Narumi while Mogi and Yuden stared at him. Elsewhere, Kiri. Mate Rumi Uzumaki, who is 1/4 Uzumaki leading the rebellion against Ugura Karatachi, the 4th Mizukage, and the Jinchuriki of the coral user Sanbi, the 3 shrimp-tailed crab-turtle hybrid, who was the most weak-willed of the tailed beasts. May sneezed because someone was having the time of his life and heard Ao saying the typical in my youth shit. May told him, Ao. Shut up or die. As he screamed like a little girl. Wave country. Let's see, the first place we have to go is Taki. Naruto said to Satsuki along with a newly resurrected Haku. Contrary to the popular belief of about Katsumi is that even sealed she still can sense emotions from outside the seal. Especially from Naruto's great-great-grandmother Mito Uzumaki, also known as Goofball Hashirama Senju, the last transmigrant of Asura Otsutsuki's wife, who nearly succeeded into making peace with Indra Otsutsuki's transmigrant and Satsuki great-great-grandpa from Makoto's side Madara Uchiha until Tobirama Senju ruined it. While Kitsumi was sealed inside Mito, she could always hear from the outside when Mito gained the ability so sense negative emotions as a way that Kitsumi have a bit of freedom inside the seal, and it had its advantages, especially from when Mito was helping Tobirama create his most famous jutsus like the Flying Thunder God, Shadow clones inspired by Hashirama's wood clones, and the most deadly and powerful of all. Impure World Resurrection. A technique that can revive people if you have some DNA of the person you want but need a body to sacrifice, and the best part is that they are immune to Genjutsu, have unlimited chakra, no need to eat nor drink and can be controllable. When Kitsumi told that Naruto he was excited, so the first thing he did is summon a shadow clone as a living vessel while giving him blood of Haku Yuki, the last member of the Yuki clan of Kiri and former apprentice of Zabuza of the Bloody Mist. Using a special scroll as ashes covered the shadow clone as Haku takes place. Instead of looking cracked, she looked like she was before she was killed. Tobirama may have created it the jutsu, but now as perfect as Haku is at full power, and you can control her whenever you want, Naruto-kun. Kitsumi said to Naruto, who grinned at Haku. Why did you revive me? Haku asked in a feminine voice. No man can be that attractive except Astolfo and Felix. Because you have potential, and like us I sense that you also hate the shinobi system, as you are the last of your clan now, and it was Konohinin that killed Zabuza, but I couldn't revive him since there wasn't any body found. Naruto said, giving her Kubikirabacho. You can also have revenge against the mist for slaughtering your clan. Satsuki told her, and Haku nodded as they have become their new masters. On the road to Taki. As the Naruto, Satsuki and Haku traveled to Taki in search of Jime's Jinchuriki. I can't believe that Hashirama would do something so stupid and give a tailed beast to the village that wanted him killed. Naruto said in anger. It's like a tradition that every Hokage is worse than the last. The first hunted every tailed beast after Suna captured Shukaku, then sold them to other villages without asking them first and say that it was to promote peace. He was so gullible to give powerful beings and not think about they would use them against each other. Tobirama holding his grudge towards the Uchiha clan and made sure that they don't have a saying on anything. Hiruzen betrayed my clan due to fear of our sealing arts, letting Danzo and Orochimaru live, and even ordering the massacre of a founding clan. Naruto continued to rant. For years I hated Madara Uchiha for using his Sharingan to control me, but then I realized that it was Tobirama who pushed him to read the stone tablet in the first place. When Indra and Asura nearly made amends until Tobirama had to fuck it up. Kitsumi said as her hatred is now directed to Tobirama now. Your old dad never even let me visit Mikoto, who was one of the few people who actually accepted me for myself, and now she is dead. Naruto said while he shed tears while Satsuki got near him but tripped into something metallic. What the hell? Satsuki asked as she stumbles into a secret hideout. Satsuki, are you alright? You're not hurt, right? Naruto asked in concern as he was checking if she wasn't hurt. While she was blushing. He really does love me. Satsuki thought to herself. What is this place? Haku asked while looking at the secret lab as she saw two pods with people inside them. The woman with long blue hair with loops on the tips and pink streaks and two beauty marks under her blue eyes. Wearing a white long-sleeved turtleneck shirt with bishop sleeves and dark shorts with blue stars and a moon and a planet with a ring around it patterns, blue earrings, and black high-heeled shinobi sandals with two blue crescent moons and blue heels. In addition, wearing two blue bracelets on both of her wrists and matching rings on her ring finger and her pinky finger, and has pink nail polish on her fingernails and toenails. The other woman has long curly blonde hair and light purple eyes with yellow eyeshadow, with vertical lines running through her pupils and her eyes. She has a green tattoo of the Roman numeral 1 in the center of her forehead and wears yellow lipstick and matching nail polish on her fingernails and toenails. She wears a turquoise outfit with an exposed heart-shaped cutout on her back, triangle-shaped cutout bishop sleeves, a triangle-shaped cutout on her chest, white wrist cuffs, red triangle earrings, with black and red striped tights, and long white high-heeled shinobi sandals. When Naruto looked at the two women he couldn't help but to blush and gain a boner. Give him some slack, what kind of man wouldn't do the same when seeing two hot women? As they looked around, they saw some files about Project Kara. Project Kara, what is that? Haku asked. Let me ask Kagaya if she knows about this. Naruto said as he started to meditate to talk to Kagaya. Mindscape. Yes, Naruto. Kagaya asked him. Hey Kagaya, do you know anything about Project Kara? Naruto asked her until she was silent and began to hyperventilate. No. It can't be him. I thought I killed him. She shouted. Calm down, Kagaya. Who are you referring that you killed? He asked her worriedly. Listen carefully, Naruto, to I'm about to say. Kagaya composed herself. Beware of Isiki Otsutsuki, who was my former partner when I came to Earth, and I don't know how he survived since I used my all-killing ash bones to take out his immortality from him, but what it concerns me is that he is still alive somehow. Kagaya explained her origins and that Otsutsuki never betray each other. Wait, you betrayed him? Naruto asked her. I never wanted to betray him, Naruto. Do you know how is it to go from planet to kill people and nature just for a chakra fruit? Even when I had to mark different beings before being eaten by the 10 tails as sacrifice for the clan. That is a tradition that I never wanted to do, Naruto, and I know is different from your shadow clones, but the feeling of taking someone's life and identity leaves you a bad taste every time. That's the reason why I never told those two disgrace of former sons. But I had to kill those humans because of them using my chakra, and Otsutsuki never share powers to other beings blindly without procedures like Hagoromo. Kagaya ranted as she calms down. Naruto just looked at her in surprise that she isn't the only one and that there are others more powerful than her. He suddenly hugged Kagaya. Secret lab. As Naruto woke up as the other girls were worried of him. You took your time to talk to Kagaya, did you? Satsuki asked. We have to be careful with those two women since I sense them that they are dangerous. Naruto told them as the two capsules opening revealing the two women known as Delta and Ada, despite being a sadist that can kill anyone he wants, but even he has his limits and these two women are way out of his league even if he gained access to 6 paths mode, so for now he will persuade them. As both Delta and Ada were going to attack, but Naruto stopped. What are you doing in here? Delta shouted at Naruto while Ada was trying to use her charms on him and doesn't work at all, meaning that he is an Otsutsuki like a Siki, but he looks too human. Another thing that Kagaya did to Naruto and Satsuki is to change their genetic coding into pure-blooded Otsutsuki since they renounced their humanity and that she imprinted them the clan's very will of loyalty, but it's a slow process as the bodies need to reconfigured slowly. Since having half-human children was her downfall before she was sealed, as even with a bit of human DNA, they would be limited because she is afraid that Naruto and Satsuki will betray her. They grew horns, but they hid it not to poke others, but their skin and hair are still the same color, and Naruto lacks the whiskers since Katsumi is freed. We mean no harm to you two since we stumbled here on accident while we heading to a near village. He explained until Delta by impulse tried to kick him, but he dodged thanks to his negative emotions, sensing he awoke a long time ago, which has come in handy when he was alone. Then Naruto created truth-seeking orbs to show that if they mess with him, then they will turn into ashes as both women understood and nodded as he reprogrammed them with help of Kagaya, so that Delta and Ada are loyal to Naruto. Well, it's better than being with Naruto than with Gaijin. I hope that my brother demon is alright. Ada said in concern referring to her younger brother that Amato separated from her. But she dodged it until Naruto summoned his adamantine sealing chains that he learned on his own and also taught it to his sister Narumi from his torso to hold Delta as her chakra was suppressed. You know that I hate those chains, but you can use it on me for something more kinky, Naruto-kun. Katsumi said inside the seal as Naruto had to suppress a nosebleed as Delta became weaker as Ada throws the towel since she knew she can't beat those chains. Satsuki knew that Naruto was toying with Delta plainly. I surrender. Delta said with little pride she has that you can hear a little moan she made when some of the chains were in where the sun don't shine on her. This impressed Ada since Delta was excessively impulsive and having a nasty temper like in Uzumaki. Just spare us and help me save my brother demon. Ada said well Naruto can kill them now, but he programmed to be loyal to him and they look that they can beat a high-rank Otsutsuki in Taijutsu like Kagaya told him, since most Otsutsuki don't train at all, since they take the life of others trough the 10 tails. Unlike a certain warhawk, Naruto knows potential when he sees it and would not suppress their emotions since without emotions, there is no free will and cautiousness. Okay, I will spare you too, but knows this. If you betray us you will not live longer. Naruto said as he coated his right arm with lightning chakra and it made bird chirping sounds, meaning that it was the Chidori, an assassination technique that Satsuki taught him even the Rikiri and Kirin when he taught her his god split cut. Delta felt tiny that a kid could be more powerful than she is that he was holding back and felt compelled to him. Women like man with power. As they all left the lab heading towards Taki as Satsuki used Jinjutsu on Attackin to guide them to the village. Meanwhile, Konoha. After Narumi dealt with Kushina she explained Anko that she left her former family and Anko decided that she will live with her because she sees potential in Narumi that reminded her of herself before gaining the curse mark. She now has an admirer by the name of Meru who was hiding inside a square box like it was a rock, which failed. You can come out Meru. She blankly stated. How did you know it was me? He asked as Mogi and Yuden appeared. A ninja has to be agile, vigilant and never show your full skills. She told them just like her brother Naruto told her. Narumi sensed the 3 kids' chakra and saw their elementals' affinities, but what surprised her the most is that Meru has wind and fire, Mogi had water and earth, and Yuden has water and wind. However, what amazed her the most their affinities are balanced with each other, meaning that they combined it to make scorch, wood and ice style. Meanwhile with Naruto. Seeing a village near a huge tree with a waterfall around it was magnificent, but it will be short-lived as they need to find the Jinchuriki of Jimei, the happy-go-lucky seven-tailed beast. This is Takigakure, also known as the village hidden behind a waterfall and the only village to have never be invaded. Kitsumi said in her human form while everyone looked at the calmed hidden village. As they are walking towards Taki, they hear screaming and they see a green-haired girl that was getting attacked by 5 people who what appeared to be Chunin. Naruto, she is the Jinchuriki for the 7 tails. Kitsumi explained. I guess we're helping then. Let's get this over with. Naruto body flickers down behind one of the men and cuts his throat open, killing him instantly. He grabs 2 kunai and cuts down 2 more but was noticed by one of the Chunin attacking the poor girl. What the hell did you do to them? You're helping the demon Horan for what? Now you have to die. The man said as he ready to kunai. Naruto narrows his eyes upon hearing him call her a whore. The only one dying here is you. The 2 men rush at Naruto as he blocks one man's kunai while knocking the other out of the other guy's hands. Naruto grabs onto his wrists, snaps it, breaking it, and embeds a kunai in the man's skull. The other man remains stupefied as he saw his friend get a kunai to his skull. Making use of moment hesitance, Naruto stabs a kunai in the man's gut and snaps his neck, killing him. Naruto looked over at the shocked girl and asks a simple question, not wanting to alert the girl that he knows she is the Jinchuriki 4 of the 7 tails. What was that about? Naruto asked, feigning ignorance. Hey? Are you alright? Naruto asked the girl. Why did you save me? She asked Naruto. Because I know what it feels like to be hated and shunned. So what is your name? He answered to her. The name's Fu. Holder of Lucky 7. Fu said sadly to Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki, former holder of 9, also known as Kitsumi. Naruto said while pointing on his shoulder Kitsumi in her small fox form, who waved at Fu. How can you bear it? Fu asked him. Because I have people that actually care and love me for who I am and they keep me sane from the madness. He answered her as the girls blushed at the statement as Satsuki hugs him. I guess you are the lucky one. Fu said sadly. How about you joined us, Fu? He asked her. Really? She said as they nodded. But what about Taki? Fu asked, since she is attacking in and a Jinchuriki to this village that despise her for something she didn't have a choice. Let me handle that, but first let's meet your companion inside of you. Naruto said as he and Satsuki fist bumped Fu as they closed their eyes. Fu's mindscape. The mindscape was wide and filled with water. There were rocks formations surrounding Jimei with his 6 wings and middle tail exposed as Kagaya appeared as he prepared a tail beast bomb towards her, but she absorbed it. How are you even here, you psycho? Jimei shouted at her, which surprised Fu since Jimei is usually happy-go-lucky most of the times and rarely spoke to her. I've come to make a proposition. Kagaya said as Jimei gasped that he saw Kitsumi here. How are you even here, Kitsumi? Jimei asked his sister. Simple, I am complete and free from Naruto-kun's seal. She told him since he remembered before they were captured by Hashirama that she swallowed Kinkaku and Kinkaku when Kumo wanted to capture her for themselves but survived for 2 weeks by eating the flesh of her stomach. Gained some of her chakra after she regurgitated them and took 4 of the 5 of Hagoromo's treasured tools that he created with his creation of all things and sealed them on their arms before Tobirama was killed by them, since Kinkaku and Kinkaku wanted to control Kumo due to the influence of Kitsumi's chakra during a peace treaty between Tobirama representing Konoha and A II representing Kumo to be allies, and since her soul wasn't present inside of them, they became so feral that the chakra was killing them due to her absence. That's why no person can use tailed beast chakra without the respective tailed beast controlling it, or at least most of it, unless the user has the Rinnegan to control the chakra. So what is the offer, Kagaya? He asked with venom on her name. Simple, I use a bit of yours and your siblings' chakra to revive the 10 tails, so I can be physically alive and you can be freed, but we need the demonic statue to revive myself properly. She told him. What about humanity that we swore to protect to our creator Hagoromo? Jimei asked worriedly as Naruto spoke up and filled with killing intent. When has he ever actually helped you guys? Sure, he created you from the 10 tails and Kagaya's chakra, but had he ever taught you guys from the good and the bad? He released you when people learned how to use chakra, he forsaken his own mother due to a toad telling him about her sacrificing people. Sure, it's bad, but humans by default with power that can easily corrupt them. Now tell me this. What is the most important thing that an Otsutsuki can't do? Naruto ranted to Jimei. Never betray the clan. He answered in sadness since it was true that Hagoromo and Homura betrayed them as Kagaya smirked. Join us, Jimei, and you shall never be used again, and this is an Otsutsuki oath, son. Kagaya told him, smiling and her telling him son something that Hagoromo never said before. What Naruto and Satsuki learned about Otsutsuki is that they always put family above all, even if they do bad things to get what they want, as their loyalty is to family only. So you two are Naruto and Satsuki, right? He said and nodded. Can you please put your dominant hands up? He said as both Naruto and Satsuki complied as they fist bumped Jame's hand as they received a bit of his chakra. Consider it as a deal on my part. He said as they looked at Fu. If he gets free doesn't it mean that I will die? Fu said. Yes. However, if you give me some of your blood I can use Impure World Resurrection to revive completely without Jame's chakra holding you back. No offense to you Jame. He said while apologizing. None taken. Jame told him as they leave the mindscape. What it said? Ada asked Naruto. He's a guy and he agrees. Naruto answered as he helped Fu to seal all her belongings on a sealing scroll as they went to the cage office. Later. Naruto was whistling after he persuaded Shibuki the Takakage of the village, and by persuaded he meant pointing him a spiraling ring towards his chest, as Shibuki complied that Fu leaves the village for the sake of her happiness, as the scene pans to dead Taki nins hanging upside down under the huge tree as blood falls into the lake, turning it red. Before he left, Naruto took Shibuki's valuables like their forbidden scroll and artifacts, as he wanted to take the hero's water, but is wordless due to having access to 6-path sage mode already, but took it out of spite, as Satsuki used Jinjutsu to erase Shibuki's memory of them being in his office, as they leafed fake scrolls and artifacts, using the creation of all things which Naruto could use, since he can use yin-yang style, so that they think they weren't stolen. I wish to have the Sharingan just like you Satsuki. Naruto said with a bit jealousy since he was awful at Jinjutsu. How about this if we find the masked man you can steal his Sharingan so how about it? Satsuki told him as she kissed him and he grinned maniacally as they killed more Taki nin to hang them upside down at the huge tree. She doesn't care that Naruto killing people since they already accept him for he truly is someone who puts his new family first and would do anything to protect even if they don't admit it. Fire style. Kuroi tame. Naruto shouted as he split chakra into fire to the huge tree into a symbol of a black sun, showing that a new group was here and brought fear and death in this village, as Naruto smirked as his eyes turned red with black sclera. Let's roll girls. Naruto said as the group with Fu who was smiling for real in years as they left Taki with her new friends. Fu looked back smiling as her eyes completely turned red like Chime's as she flips the bird at her former village. Konoha Hokage Tower. As a message Hawk from Taki who is the Leaf's allied village, left a message that someone killed various shinobis of Taki and hung them upside down under the giant tree as that the killer left a symbol of a black sun. Who would do something so gruesome even by our standards? Minato asked Jiraiya. I don't know Minato, but my spy network told me that someone took their Jinchuriki. Maybe it was Kakuzu. Jiraiya said. If it were him then he should have taken their hearts intact. Minato answered back. Aside from that when will I do the 3-year journey with Arashi and Menma? Jiraiya asked his former student. After the Chunin exams Jiraiya. Minato told him. And teach them right Jiraiya. More specifically everything you know aside from them controlling the Kyuubi's chakra. If not, I will tell Tsunade what really happened to Nawaki and Dan. Minato said threateningly with his signature kunai in hand as Jiraiya gulped but smirked. Well you don't want Kushina to know what really was the cause of the Uzumaki clan, wouldn't you my former student? Jiraiya retorted at Minato smugly as he left the office unknown to them as a small snake heard the conversation and poofed out. Meanwhile with Naruto. As the group neared Suna, they saw a bandit camp near the border of the desert. With Naruto wearing a mask to conceal his identity, Menma's mask from Road to Ninja, and Satsuki wearing an ornate skull mask that all but concealing her mouth, Maria Calavera's skull mask, since they are not shinobi anymore, while Fu wore a visor to cover her eyes. Naruto using creation of all things since it can be done by using yin-yang style since Naruto has 6 paths chakra that won't kill him due to now being an Otsutsuki and created all the masks except for Haku, Delta and Ada since Haku already has one and Delta and Ada wear robes to cover themselves. How come you two can stand the heat? Fu asked since she didn't see Naruto and Satsuki sweating. The answer to that is that we are now pure-blooded Otsutsuki and we can withstand any weather easily and we don't even need to breathe at all. Naruto explained to them sans Delta and Ada since they know about Isiki. So where is the Jinchuriki of Suna? Haku asked while drinking water from a canteen she brought. Shukaku is near. I can sense him that he is near in this very place. Strange that he is tranquil since he always tries to threaten his Jinchuriki to release him. Katsumi said since Shukaku is too prideful and short-tempered than her now that she is free from her seal. As they near the bandit camp, Naruto cracks his knuckles and neck to start a killing spree until they saw sand floating towards the bandits as each one were surrounded by sand into balls. Sand binding prison. Someone said as all the bandits that were deaf due to someone made their ears explode so they wouldn't hear the sand moving as they were crushed inside, while some had their heads sliced by the sound waves. One tried to escape but was tied up with a jimim and the girl mummified the bandit with a flaming orb. Naruto saw three girls, one who has shoulder-length red hair, beautiful eyelashes, toned body with luscious curves, beautiful seafoam green eyes, a pair of low D-cup breasts, plump ass and a sand gourd on her back with her headband as a belt. The second one has straight chin-length brown hair, dark eyes, fair skin, pair of C-cup breasts, fair ass, wearing a blue-green blouse that hung off her left shoulder, a white and pink sleeveless shirt underneath, a short yellow scarf tied around her neck, black short skirt and her headband on the neck. The third one was peculiar, who is fair-skinned girl, high D-cup breasts and plump ass with blonde hair that it is straight and reaches her thighs, which is mostly covered by the hood of her jacket. She has a large bang that partially covers her forehead protector. Has grey eyes, which are accented by red markings, and she wears pink lipstick. Her attire consists of a dark red full bodysuit, which is worn under a lavender jacket with a large hood, as well she is wearing headphones. Her hood and jacket are worn to protect her from dust clouds and the heat. She also wears black gloves and bandages around her ankles and right thigh. Way to ruin the fun, don't ya? Naruto shouted as it attracted the attention of the three Suna girls, as Gaia commanded her sand to attack Naruto, but retreated back into the gourd. Why did father didn't kill him? Gaia said surprisingly. Father? Since when he is a paternal figure? Kitsumi said, which surprised her since Shukaku was too arrogant to be a paternal figure. I heard that. Shukaku's voice was heard from Gaia's seal. Who the hell made this pathetic excuse of seal who should be killed, take its liver to dip it in hot oil and feed it to their family? Naruto said since he was in Uzumaki and sealing arts is in their blood, and seeing this sorry excuse of a seal pissed him off. Gio. Mitsuri and Yodo blankly stated. She only did a glorified storage seal and gave Shukaku all the control, but I don't see her going crazy. Naruto asked them. That would be us. Ever since when we were kids we always saw Gaia alone, not even with her older siblings, even we were shunned by almost everyone since they saw us as out of place due to our bloodlines, since I have sound style and Mitsuri has scorched style like her aunt Bakura. Yodo said to Naruto since in Suna, the higher-ups hate her since she has the potential of becoming Kazekage, but would never elect a female Kage to lead, despite her aunt having an isolated life in the village, despite being loyal to it. Yodo is a descendant of Bunpyuku, something that Shukaku sensed in Yodo, but she hated on becoming a priest since it's not her style. I understand that since a Jinchuriki and tailed beasts are not weapon, but beings who have feelings and ambitions. But the question is, how is that Shukaku is not rampaging now? Naruto told them as Gaia was amazed that someone could relate to her. Well, is because we met him before inside the seal. Mitsuri said since the group seemed trustworthy, especially Naruto. Again. Kitsumi said since this surprised her since Shukaku would never do that unless he was threatening them too. Flashback a few years ago. Little Gaia was alone playing with sand in the park when a boy threw a ball near her and Kata gave it to the boy, but the sand on her gourd reacted violently and scared the boy away, which saddened Gaia. Two particular girls got near her and waved their hands to say hi to her as Gaia was looking around and pointed on herself, and they nodded. Do you wanna hang with us? Mitsuri asked Gaia, who stood there and cried as they came near, but Gaia's sand didn't react. No, please don't come near me. Gaia shouted as she shed tears while the two girls were near her unarmed. There no need to cry. What is your name? Yodo asked Gaia while hugging her. Gaia. She answered back since it was foreign to her to be hugged, that not even her family never hugged her at all due to something. Inside the seal. I sense someone familiar to me. Shukaku said from inside the seal as he made Gaia spit sleeping gas from her mouth. Outside, the three girls suddenly became drowsy as Shukaku cackles as he will finally meet his jailer and her new friends just to scare them. Where are we? Yodo asked as they woke up on water as it was endless and saw little rock peaks, bigger than the girls, around a giant raccoon dog made out of sand and strange marks. Finally my jailer is awoken, eh? Shukaku said towards Gaia as Yodo recognized Shukaku from her mother's stories about her great-grandpa Bunpyuku. You're Shukaku, the one-tailed raccoon. Yodo said, pointing at Shukaku, who fuss a fault about being called a raccoon. How dare you call me a raccoon? I am a tanuki, you sexy monkey. He shouted as he tried to attack Yodo until he saw a giant flaming orb in front of both as they saw Mitsuri controlling it. One more step and you become pure crystal. Got it. Mitsuri told him with a voice of maturity as Shukaku huffed and went back to the rock formation since, even if he can be dead for a year, being in crystal is like being the 10 tails again. All you humans are the same with using our powers to just kill each other ever since Ritu captured me with his platinum sand and sealed me in a teapot when I wanted to be alone. He shouted as Gaia began to cry again. Then he looked at Yodo again as he looked at the closely, not like a pervert, as he laughs again. I can't believe that the old man actually has a descendant. He said to Yodo. Me? Yodo asked. Yes, you, as I can smell a bit of Bunpyuku within you. Shukaku said as a rule from the cages is that the Jinchuriki has to be someone from the same family as the cage or a loyal friend, as Bunpyoku was the father of Ritu, which he disowned him for being his Jinchuriki and erased all documents of their relation, but tailed beasts always remember. To Yodo it made sense as she always wanted to learn sealing arts to incorporate it on musical instruments, but Suna has been low on funds ever since Konoha have been accepting more missions with cheaper prices because of Heroes in Saratobi. That's technically somehow makes us family Gaia. Yodo said as she looked at Yodo with a smile on her face as Shukaku looked at his hands that formed two kanjis, accept and heart, on the palms of his hands and looked back at the three girls. I won't mess this up. Shukaku thought to himself. Gaia's seal. We see Shukaku doing the finger pyramid of evil contemplation as he heard the conversation between Naruto and the girls. Excellent, this could be the perfect way to get revenge on Rasa and Chiyo. Maybe I don't need to control Gaia again, as she can use my chakra now with ease so I won't hold her and she can finally sleep peacefully from now on. Shukaku said to himself from within the seal. Outside the seal. Suddenly, Gaia's eyes briefly turned into Shukaku's for a moment. Konoha. Narumi waking up from her bed since she now lives with Anko, since she has been more of a mother than Kushina and Anko gave her the choice to become a summoner of the snakes since Narumi sensed something shady about the toads and Jiraiya. As they went to the forest of death as Narumi summoned on her first try the white snake sage Hakuja and Aoda as the former sensed greatness and potential to use snake sage mode in Narumi and Aoda and Narumi stared each other intently as Aoda nodded as they reverse summoned themselves back to Ryuchi cave. No one has even summoned the white snake sage Hakuja on the first try, not even Orochimaru. You must be something Narumi. Anko commented as Narumi now wears knee-high kunoichi boots, a dark orange thigh-length skirt with a slit on the right side, a tight black short-sleeved shirt that exposed her midriff, over top of that is an open short dark orange jacket with a Uzumaki swirl on the back in red, and on her hands are black fingerless gloves. Thanks Anko-chan. Narumi said as she hugged Anko who blushes, but since No is there she hugged Narumi back. Suna. As Team Gaia with their sensei Baki and a new team who is called Team Otsutsuki, since their name is forgotten until now consisting of Naruto with an alias named Tsukumo, Satsuki with an alias of Ulrina and Kitsumi in her human form with their sensei Delta, whose taijutsu is far superior than Might Dai and Might Guy using the 8 gates. Rasa wanted them to join the village, but Naruto declined the offer as they only wanted to get supplies and rest. As they journey through the desert to Konoha. So what's the plan then? Shukaku asked who is on Gaia's shoulder as he is finally outside the seal that has been replaced by a new one by Naruto, which he calls the Tori seal, meaning that Gaia can use Shukaku's chakra without going crazy, and Shukaku can come and go as he pleases, as Naruto took a bit of Gaia's blood to revive her on a later date, as Shukaku agreed on Kagaia's plan. Satsuki, Kitsumi and I go as a nomadic team to Konoha to participate in the exams up to the second round, as we won't participate at the third round, as we need to steal their forbidden scrolls and artifacts and replace them with fakes. Since everyone in the village will be focusing on the exam since this time all 4 major hidden villages will participate this time. Naruto explaining the plan. Don't you mean 5? Mitsuri asked as Kitsumi facepalmed and shuts Mitsuri's mouth so that Baki doesn't hear their own plan that involves destroying Suna as Naruto made bomb seals on important locations of Suna with Kitsumi and Yodo, which has some requirements that it needs to meet for them to detonate, which are that once Team Gaia and Team Otsutsuki leave Suna for the exams after they replace their forbidden scrolls and artifacts with fakes, Tamari. And Kuro and Pakura when they go to Konoha to see their relatives participate in the third round, and finally Orochimaru killing Rasa and takes his place as Kazukiage as a people even children will not be spared from the massive explosion that makes a 10-tailed beast bomb look like a raindrop. Shukaku wanted to personally kill Rasa and Chiyo with his bare sandy hands, but he will settle with knowing them that they will be killed. Along with the destroyed hidden village. Especially when Naruto put a very specific type of poison on Rasa's drink during the offering of joining the village, that Naruto made a trigger event that when is met the victim dies instantly as the poison disappears from the victim's system after their death so they can't track it that not even poison experts can deduct the type of poison since it was not actually poison at all. Which type I am referring to well is none other than 6 paths chakra that is fatal to humans if they don't have a very strong body to possess or a pure-blooded Otsutsuki and is still deadly if the person still has human DNA. Team Gaia also escorted Naruto's group so they do anything funny as they got far from the village. He asked Gaia and her team to join his cause to destroy the shinobi system as he spared Tamari, Kankuro and Pakura for their sake as they accepted because he sees them for who they are, he won't use them as tools. As Rasa and Orochimaru were ahead of the teams, Naruto turned around to look at Gaia. Hey Gaia, do you like fireworks? Naruto asks her. Yes, why? She asked. 3, 2, 1. He said as on cue a huge mushroom cloud appeared from where Suna was located as it destroyed everything and everyone from the village who were there. Not even the children and elderly weren't spared from the destruction. It's beautiful. No words for this poetic justice. Thank you Kitsumi. Shukaku said crying tears of joy while hugging his sister. Bulgaia was snuggling Naruto's chest as she felt his getting hard. When we get to the hotel I'll give you my virginity. She whispers to Naruto who got a nosebleed while she puts his hand on her chest to feel her heartbeat. Whoa. The first girl who will have her V card taken is me. Satsuki said in jealousy. Now girls no need to fight since he can make shadow clones for all of us when we get the time. Kitsumi said while Satsuki and Gaia pouted. Meanwhile with Rasa and Orochimaru. A shockwave hits Rasa and Orochimaru as they stopped. What the hell happened? We need to turn back. Rasa asked angrily towards his guards as Orochimaru decides to kill Rasa, but suddenly Rasa fell down dead, which surprised Orochimaru that someone had one step ahead of him. Whoever did that thank you for the opening and don't worry Rasa, I will use your troops against Konoha. I hope that Gaia and her team arrived after they finished that escort. He said to himself as he sealed the Rasa's body on a sealing scroll as the guards continue their journey to Konoha. Konoha. The teams finally made it to Konoha. So this is where you lived Naruto and Satsuki? Ada asked both who were trying to self-control themselves to not destroy it right now as Naruto's stomach grumbles. Let's first eat at Ichiraku ramen since I'm starving for ramen. Naruto said as heard the girl's stomach grumbled too. And I'm not the only one. He said as they blushed and then went to buy ramen too. Ichiraku ramen. Since the Kyuubi attack was mostly minor, they renovated the stand into a restaurant, the Boruto appearance of the ramen restaurant, as Naruto's group entered as normal customers. Naruto always went there to eat after they villagers beat him up as ramen also calmed his nerves. As AM appeared looking at the group. AM was a jonin before she retired to work at her father's restaurant due to suffering from PTSD about dying without knowing that she is keeping Naruto safe from harm, and when she heard that he and Satsuki died during their first mission, she got the worst depression that she wanted to kill herself just to be with him, but Tucci and her mom told her that Naruto doesn't want this as she stayed strong for Naruto and to never give up. May I take your order? She asked not knowing it was Naruto and blushed due to his presence as other people see him and return to eating their ramen. Would you like tables or stools? AM asked him. 11 stools for my group please. He answered and she nodded as he paid the ramen using Jiraiya's credit card when they bumped into him and changed his books into Boy Love Boy without even checking it. As they began to eat their ramen with Naruto's mask having a function to eat without taking the mask off at all, they see Naruto and Satsuki's former academy teacher Iruka as Naruto hissed at his presence since he always took Naruto out of class when he only asked a simple question that he is left outside until Satsuki took the job to tutor Naruto. He also saw his sister Narumi grown a bit with her friends Konohamaru, Mogi, Yuden and surprisingly Hinata's sister Hanabi, eating together with Anko too. He smiles at the scene since his sister has found friends to trust her. Suddenly, Iruka started to flirt at AM who always denied his advances since she can feel that Naruto is alive somewhere. Not noticing that she talked to him already and now glaring intently at Iruka as if he is trying to melt his brain. Iruka, do not make me throw you out. One more burst and I'm banning you from the restaurant. Tucci told menacingly at Iruka. I just know that Naruto and Satsuki are alive, I can feel it. AM said. Just give up AM. Naruto and Satsuki are dead for months already and there was proof that they died. Wait. Don't tell me that you loved that brat that always failed the classes or are you losing it? He was 6 years younger than you. Iruka spouted as it was the last straw for Tucci since he considered Naruto like his son and part of his family. As the team from Iowa had enough of Iruka ruining their mealtime and the Kumo team telling him to shut up. Then something unexpected happened. That over here. A female shouted and it was Narumi using her sealing chains to hold Iruka and throw him out of the restaurant. That's my sister. Naruto whispered to Haku and he was proud of her as 3 individuals entered the restaurant as Naruto and Satsuki groaned as Naruto sensed who it was. The boy that has curly black hair and gray-blue eyes. His hairstyle looking like a seaweed. His casual clothing consists of a white and black jacket with the Uchiha clan symbol on it, a black shirt and blue jeans. He wears his headband on the forehead. This is Shin Uchiha, is also Satsuki's younger half-brother from an affair between her dad Fugaku and a civilian woman. One is a curvaceous girl with hip-length peach-pinkish hair with bangs swept to the left. Has green eyes. Her attractive body and outer personality has caused many people to become infatuated with her either immediately or soon after contact. In addition, she has large breasts and bust. Her dress skirt combo white with blue ends around the skirt as the dress show her cleavage and a blue vest with the same design of her skirt and brown boots with heels up to her legs. This is Flare Haruno and Sakura Haruno's sadistic cousin and the only competent one of Team 5 who is also an assault team. wears her headband is on her left arm. The other girl has purple hair styled in an asymmetrical cut and brown eyes. She wore a striped blouse that was tied at her neck and waist over a dark blues dress that had a marking on the left sleeve but none on the right, which she wears along with a pair of dark pants and sandals. Wears a blue headband on her neck. This was Ami. The great Uchiha has arrived to this restaurant and demands to be served ramen. Shin said arrogantly to Tucci, who frowned. Who is that? Mitsuri asked to Satsuki, who was fuming behind her mask. That is my half-brother Shin Uchiha. Satsuki said with venom in her voice, as she hates more Shin than Itachi right now, as Naruto comforts her. Shin gets close to Naruto's group as he looks at Gaia, while Shukaku was growling at him. Would you go out with an elite Uchiha? He demanded to Gaia. Pass. She told him as he did the same thing to Mitsuri and burned a bit of his seaweed-like hair as he puts it off and those the same to Yodo, whose uses sound style. Discord screech that creates a controllable but powerful scream that flings Shin out of the restaurant with Ami following suit, while Flare just looked at Naruto directly as she licks her lips sensually. Do I know you from somewhere? Like you are familiar. Flare asked Naruto, who was sweating bullets behind his mask since he doesn't want anyone that he and Satsuki fake their deaths as Shukaku did something undignified and impossible. He peed on Flare's boots. Oh man. Now I have to wash them. I will know who you are eventually. Flare left but winked at Naruto as she leaves. Thanks for the saving, Naruto bro. Kitsumi thanked Shukaku. No problem. He said back. I also sense that Madatabi and Son Goku are here in this restaurant. Kitsumi whispered to Naruto's ear as he was pinpointing them as he saw two particular women. The first has short black hair and eyes, which are accentuated by her eyelashes running upwards at the corners. She wears the standard attire of the Iwanin, consisting of a red uniform with her right sleeve missing and a lapel over her right leg, the brown Uwagakure flak jacket, fishnet tights and a skirt over them. She also wears regular shinobi sandals and a pair of gloves. This is Kuritsuchi Kamizuru, granddaughter of Inoki Kamizuru III Tsuchikage, also known as Inoki of both scales, second known user of dust style, after his mentor Mew, and the oldest active Kage in history so far. She is also the holder of the King of Sage Monkeys Son Goku, the Four Tails Monkerilla of lava style. She became a willing sacrifice after Minato killed her mother during the Third War as she focused all her life to become strong to kill Minato in a slow and painful death after taking everything from him. The other woman has long, straight, blonde hair bound with taut bandages, dark eyes, and she wore red lipstick. Wearing a short-sleeved black and purple blouse, black pants, both of which had a design similar to clouds on them, purple fingerless gloves, and a chain of blue beads wound around her left hand. Wearing the standard Kumagakure forehead protector, sandals and a kunai holster, which was strapped to her right thigh. Also wearing bandages around her arms and legs, as well as a red belt around her waist. This is Yujito Nai, older sister of Samui and Atsui Nai and holder of Madatabi, the two-tailed blue-flamed cat. She became Madatabi's jailer since she was 2 years old, but all of her fighting style heavily relies on Madatabi, and that the council is finding an excuse to get rid of her and put Madatabi on a more controllable person like her sister Samui, who is her genin student along her friend Kari and Amoy. Elsewhere in Konoha. Kakashi was walking by after Jiraiya accidentally threw the Boy Love Boy novel as he picked it up and read it. I can believe that Jiraiya made this book so quickly. Kakashi said as he saw Might Guy next to him. Hello my youthful rival. What are you reading? Guy asked Kakashi. 1 hour later. As both finished reading the book. My eyes. My eyes. Kakashi shouted like a little girl as Guy took the book to show it to Rock Lee while shouting youth. As he not noticed that, the book slipped up from his hands. Danzo noticed the book, picks it up and he opens it. He got a nosebleed and went to his root HQ to read the book in peace. Danzo was giggling on the way as everyone saw him showing emotions and thought it was a genjutsu. Tatsumi was sensing something familiar under Konoha, but it was blocking her to pinpoint it exactly what it was. It wasn't easy being walking without Naruto in the village where I was sealed for more than 50 years, ever since Hashirama put her to sleep after he freed her from Madara's control, and then sealed her inside of Mito, always telling her speech about love, but never even look me in the eye to have a civil conversation or treat her like a decent being. Then poisoned Kushina's mind to make her think that I was the villain. Having chained to a floating malted rock with wooden stakes on my tails and chest and not even giving me the chance to tell my side of the story. However, what I hate the most of it was Hashirama saying to me that I was dangerous to run loose. Neither of her siblings had attacked people first. It was always them who start the assault. Kitsumi said to herself as she walked around the village as she children playing on a playground. So pure and innocent children that they think that being ninjas is about being heroes to the village and saving princesses. All they will await is death for them. Their team could be killed or are raped by one another. You know what? Kagaya was right. Hagoromo and Homura never deserved their love for what they did to their own family. So that is why we will destroy the shinobi system and destroy those who oppose our ideals, no matter what this is for the children to have a future of less bloodshed. Kitsumi with conviction as she turned gold with black lines and symbols. As of now she holds no love for Hagoromo at all, especially for what he did to his biological sons. A bit later. See you later ladies. I got an appointment at the hot springs. Jiraiya said to the two Inyazuka women who were smiling and limping. See you later master. They both said to him as Kiba neared the house until his mom stopped him. What hell mom? He shouted at her. You watch your mouth pup. Tsume told him as he gave him bath supplies, her, and Hana's spare clothes to take to the hot springs. One mom I'm freaking tired and that's like 6 miles from here. Kiba complained as Tsume glared at him. Stop complaining pup and go. Hana told him as Tsume gave him extra money for food. I'm not cooking so get going or let the dogs out. She told him. Yes mom. Let's go Akamaru. Kiba said as left to the hot springs. As Kiba was out of sight, Tsume closed the door as both women pass out as cum was dripping from their pussies and asses. At the hot springs. As the girls were testing the waters as Katsumi who came back, Fu and Gaia were in bliss as they never even been inside of a hot springs despite Katsumi being sealed inside Mito and Kushina before, but this time she is actually enjoying it on her own. Even Shukaku was wearing a swimsuit so he doesn't contaminate the water with his body. Now this is relaxing. Gaia said for the first time as Shukaku was showing her how to swim since Insuna water was for drinking, bathing, a washing only. You know what joining you guys were the best thing that has happened in all of our lives. Yodo said while groping Haku's boobs and making out with her. It was calm until the girls felt lust from boys who were peeping them in the forms of Jiraiya, Kiba, Haruka, Shin, Menma, Arashi, Kakashi, Asuma and surprisingly Niji. How did you get in here quickly after seeing my mom and sister? Kiba asked Jiraiya who was trying to do research for his Makeout Paradise books. Huh? Jiraiya said to him as Katsumi whispered the girls her plan as they nodded. Hey girls who about later we go to the Blue Oyster that just opened this week as they have the greatest salad bar of all Konoha after we finished the bath. Katsumi said as the perverts heard her as they somehow left as if they used the flying thunder god to the Blue Oyster. Hook, line and sinker. They always fell for that. Katsumi said as the girls, Shukaku and Chimei laugh. As they all know that men will always want to date girls unless they are gay and they will have a huge surprise when they get there. The Blue Oyster. Wait a minute, this isn't a salad bar. This is a gay club. Asuma said as he sees bearded men wearing leather and uniforms. One man saw Kiba and took him to dance. Thank Kami that I didn't bring Akamaru here. Kiba said as the man he was dancing with was becoming a little handsy to Kiba. One was touching Niji's face as if it was porcelain as the man who is wearing a leather collar and dressed in drags licked his lips as Niji was quivering. I think it's fate that I dance with you isn't? Niji said as he began to dance with the man. Jiraiya and Kakashi were trying to leave as a seal was placed outside as we see Katsumi who placed was grinning as she left blending into the ground through Mayfly since the tailed beasts were the 10 tails before as Kagaya woke Shukaku, Chimei and Katsumi's wood style. As for her other siblings, they haven't realized it yet. Back to Jiraiya, Iruka and Kakashi saying to please be gentle with them. The less about Shin the better and that he awoke his Manjaku Sharingan inside the club that involved a threesome and no longer being a virgin. The next day Konoha's cemetery. Naruto and Satsuki were present to put flowers on Makoto's grave as Naruto, commenting that she was the best mother he ever had before Itachi killed her, as they went to Yugao's grave who died on a mission outside the village, and she was the most loyal Anbu that protected Naruto most of the times, Izumi who was like a sister to Satsuki, and last to Rin's grave, who died sacrificing herself for the village from Isobu being unleashed. But they were angry that Kakashi took the easy way out instead of taking her to Minato using the flying thunder god kunai that he gave to Kakashi to apply a new seal on her. Instead he used the Chidori to kill her as Obito saw the last part without the context. However, they noticed that the flowers that Kakashi leaves are missing again. Satsuki he was here. Naruto told her. Who? She asked as he was sensing his surroundings if he was still here hiding but isn't. Obito. He said with venom at the person who unleashed Katsumi from Kushina when he was born. Don't worry Naruto, let him live for now and when the time is right we'll take everything from him. Satsuki reassured him. They saw their friend Yakumo crying in front of her parents' grave while muttering being sorry for killing them. As they neared her Satsuki made a potent genjutsu to cover themselves until Yakumo sensed the genjutsu, thinking it was her clan trying to kill her again, and turned into a being with fair skin complexion, horns of a ram, small fangs also becoming smaller, almost to the point that they only barely protruded from under her upper lip. Her eyes, that cat-like appearance now has a pinkish color. This Yakumo's Ido, who formerly held of all of Yakumo's bloodline, that was sealed by Kushina after Kurina Yuhi stopped helping her due to her weak body that wasn't strong enough for ninja business and began to resent the Yuhi until she met Naruto and Satsuki as the three confronted her Ido as they helped Yakumo come in terms with herself as Ido was always a part of her and hug Ido. "Who are you two before I kill you with my life like Genjutsu?" she said with a demonic voice. "Whoa. Calm yourself Ido, we don't mean no harm to you or Yakumo," Naruto told her as Ido recognized the heavenly voice that always calmed Ido down. "Naruto? Satsuki? I thought you two were dead," Ido said as she changed back into Yakumo. "What happened to you two?" she asked them as they explained why they did and their goal to destroy the shinobi system. "Do you know how much we missed our first real friends?" Yakumo shouted at them until she kissed Naruto and Satsuki as Yakumo was becoming horny. "Let's take it to a training ground, shall we?" Naruto said as they traveled through the shadows onto an empty training ground as they began making out more roughly as Naruto made a shadow clone for Yakumo Ido for fuck her hard then made two more so fuck their asses while the girls were kissing each other. Unknown to them Flare was watching the scene while jerking off. "I knew that Naruto and Satsuki were alive," she said as she went back into the darkness of the forest until Naruto and the clones felt a shiver. "Why did you stop?" Yakumo asked but resumed harder. "I felt that I have a stalker," Naruto said ominously. "Said the one who made an orgy yesterday," Satsuki said between pants. "That was you guys," Yakumo said while they looked bashful. "Damn, you have to have unlimited stamina to do that, you lucky bastard," Yakumo said. "But Narumi Hokage Tower." Narumi was filled with rage as she went with Anko as Minato and Kushina showed them a document stating that Narumi will marry Shinichihara when she becomes 18. This angered further Narumi as her hair floated like 9 tails but transformed into 9 black mambas hissing at Minato and Kushina. "How dare you do that to me?" Narumi said angrily at them and saw Anko using her cursed marks with Minato and Kushina, telling Narumi to stop the bullshit and come back to them. "Sorry, but you signed the adoption papers to Anko Mitarashi that I sneaked in when you were working, meaning that you don't have the right anymore since you both signed it without the need of Genjutsu, as my full name now is Narumi Uzumaki Mitarashi. Konohamaru is my boyfriend," Narumi said showing the adoption papers with Minato and Kushina's signatures as both her and Anko leaved as one of Narumi's snake hair blew a raspberry at them while flipping them off. First part of the Chunin exams. As Team Guy and Team Otsutsuki are complete and ready to take the exam as they waited for the show to start. "Where the fuck are? I will kill Shin if I miss my Naruto-kun time," Naruto shivered that someone mentioned him and also kill Ami if she doesn't shut the fuck up about Shin. Flare said angrily while waiting for the last loyal Uchiha. As Team 10 were already present as they only saw Sakura without Menma and Arashi nor Kakashi as they were closing the doors for the one who are late. Jiraiya telling Kakashi to take the genins to the exam and don't blab about yesterday. "I will tell Minato that we were training and fought missing nins that we lost time." In the background, Kabuto was worried that the target isn't here on time for his daddy's plan. "Damn forehead, what happened to you?" Ino asked Sakura. "Fuck off Ino pig." Sakura retorted back at her until Lee introducing himself to Sakura as he blew kisses at her, which she dodged while Tenten and Niji have clouds above their heads. They saw a floor on the second floor, saying 301 when the first part of the exam is on the third floor. The other teams, except for Maiwa, Kumo and Odo who knew the Genjutsu, just stood there. As Shin, Menma and Arashi were about to shout that the door has a simple Genjutsu to drop it as Shukaku threw sand at them to their mouths and Naruto made small roots appear to suppress Menma and Arashi's former 9 tails chakra that they still have before they go crazy since they never had Katsumi's soul to control the chakra. "Morons," Naruto and Satsuki said in unison as they rolled their eyes behind their masks. As they left to the third floor. As the teams were separated into different seating arrangements while Team Gaia and Team Otsutsuki were relaxed as Naruto will start the plan just as the proctor introduces himself as Ibiki Marino, head of the T&I department and the most resilient man Konoha has ever made, that even Kisame can't get information out of him and neither the Yamanaka's mind jutsu don't work on him. He was about to explain the rule until an Anbu brought a scroll to him ordering to open as he read and frowned as he ordered his men to open door to let Team 5 and 7 to take the exam. As everyone except Team Naruto and Otsutsuki who waited for the right moment as Naruto went up front towards Ibiki to give him the answers as Ibiki scoffed at Naruto until Naruto waved his hand at Ibiki. "You will give me the answers," Naruto said as Ibiki looked at him. "I will you the answers right now." Ibiki said dumbly that he gave Naruto the answer sheet as Naruto wanted to mess a little with Ibiki. "What is your secret, Ibiki?" "I like to dress in drags and dance my booty off at the Blue Oyster Bar and that my drag queen name is Ladybug." Ibiki said aloud as everyone looked at him dumbly, but the worst ones were Menma, Arashi, Shin, Kiba and especially Niji, who used his Byakugan at Ibiki, who is still wearing the leather collar from the bar, and Kiba smelled sex from the hidden chunin who are present and paled. Oh my kami. They're all here. Kiba screamed as Niji and Shin paled as they were on the floor cradling and crying himself, thinking that it was a genjutsu but is not. It was fate that I danced with him. Niji said, who was next to Kuretsuchi as inside the seal Son Goku was trying to barf. Naruto freezes time briefly to create copies of the answer sheet to Satsuki, Kitsumi, Gaia, Mitsuri and Yodo and Shadow clones to give them the papers as he unfreezes time and told Ibiki that he won't remembered what he said, who nodded dumbly. What happened? Ibiki asked as most of the genins were trembling as Team Gaia and Team Otsutsuki answered their 9 questions perfectly. Now for the last question since it decides your fate to continue. He told them as a few teams decided to quit as those who are left he congratulated them as they passed the first part. That's an outrage for the last Uchiha. Shin screamed. Yeah, and I'm the sage of 6 paths. Now get out. Ibiki shouted at Shin. Suddenly Anko appeared though the window with the banner of her being the second proctor of the exam. Here is the one, sexy, sadistic and single Anko Midarashi. Anko said introducing herself. You're early. Ibiki told her. Whatever you say ladybug. Anko said ignoring him, which made Kiba and Niji nauseous as they run towards the bathroom to vomit as Lee tilted his head while Tenten shrugged at him. Anko saw Naruto and stared at him as if she knew him. Why we didn't see Asuma-sensei today? Shikamaru asked Kiba. He was giving us a tips about using wind style in our attacks. Kiba answered quickly. Troublesome. Shikamaru said as Ino was fuming and Choji eating a bag of chips. Jiraiya's home. We see one of the fetish trio Jiraiya the imperfect toad sage, which he can't do on his own, Konoha's reliable spy, which is debatable, a proficient seal master, I doubt it, author of Makeout Paradise, is only pure smut, a dead last by choice, a moocher, which is true, and super pervert, a known proved fact from various witnesses, waking up from his usual dreams about Tsunade who still rejects him all the time. Doing his morning routine of taking a shower and brushing his teeth more constantly due to the incident at the Blue Oyster Bar. Hate mail, bills, the police. What the fuck? He screamed as he got more complaints of people heard him having an orgy that everyone on the Elementals nations heard him, and that one of them is the youngest daughter of the Kazekage and granddaughter of the Tsuchikage. Oh hell no. Jiraiya yelled after he read the mail as he runs towards the Hokage's house with his towel still on that it never flew off him as people were covering their children's eyes. Hokage's home. Minato and Kushina were not happy at all. With Naruto dead, which caused a rift on the family that made Narumi disown them, and that Menma and Arashi are becoming too arrogant for being heroes of Konoha. Calm down Kushina. Minato told her but became more frantic. Calm down. How can I calm down when my own daughter disowned us Minato? Don't you remember our clan's creed of family above all like Narumi said. Kushina was arguing with Minato until he snaps his fingers as Kushina got quiet. Yes master. Kushina said emotionless as Minato cups her chin and rubs his hand on her face. It's a shame that the real Kushina couldn't be controlled anymore. Last time I tried to apply the seals on you it burned off. Now Kushina, how is Mito in progress? Minato said to her. Subject Mito is ahead of schedule, life signs are excellent and her chakra has perfect control and is due to 6 months. Kushina answered him blankly. Excellent with my blood along with the Uzumaki and Uchiha DNA to create the perfect being that can surpass even the sage of 6 paths. So fuck the daimyos, cages and the council, as there can only be one ruler no emperor of all the elemental nations, and that emperor will be me. Ha 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 ha. Minato said as he briefly looks like Tobirama Senju. On the other side of the room, Black Zetsu heard everything as he left to tell his mother. Entranced to the forest of death. As the teams that passed the first test now are outside of training area 44, also known as the Forest of Death, which Hashirama created with his wood style after he was blowing steam when Madara left the village. As anything and everything inside can and will kill you. Various teams are present even from minor villages like AIM, Kuzo and major like Yujito's team, Team 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 2 teams from Odo. Team Matasasuke have seen Kuretsuchi's team as Kuretsuchi and Son Goku waved at Naruto who waved back at them as she is with her comrades Toph, who is the current daimyo's daughter who was born blind who was taught earth style by the also blind Badger Mole's summons, but Naruto cured her blindness and also created her visor to block her eyes when needed to enhance her other senses and was learning to use steel style. The second is Azula who was an orphan from Kumo who stumbled into Iwa years ago, who is very proficient in fire and lightning style, that she even learned the lightning cloak, but in white. She is as sadistic as she can be that she is not even afraid of death that she practically became a pseudo bodyguard to Kuretsuchi and always demanding perfection. Flashback. On a training ground, Kuretsuchi was training alone like most of the time with wooden dummies that has Minato's face as she throws kunais made out of dust as she is trying to perfect the second Tsuchikage's dust style to make it small, consecutive and less draining of her chakra. Then she heard someone spying on her. She spits lava towards the watcher as he flashes next to her, which scared her. I never knew that Inoki's granddaughter knows dust style and the Fission Jutsu, with able to still use the taxing dust style of the non-person Mu. Naruto said, surprising Kuretsuchi. How did you know that I'm a half of myself? She asked him. I'm a sensor that can sense emotions and know the info any person just by their chakra. He told her. Do not engage combat with him, Kuro, as he has wood style and can and will suppress my chakra. Son Goku told her from his seal, which made her nervous as she made a dust kunai as he touched it and absorbed it with his hand. Understood, Goku. Kuretsuchi told Son Goku, who wasn't even mad at her, which the nickname is better than just Son. You're Jinchuriki like I was, but why you are one? He asked her. Sorry to being rude, but can I ask your name and how is that you have wood style? She asked him. Okay, as I go by the name Sakumo and as a sign for your trust I will show you my face, but don't tell anyone, not even your grandfather. He said as she nodded as Naruto took his mask and was amazed at his face and the black sclera filled with darkness but filled with protectiveness and gentleness of his green eyes. However, something is familiar of the face as if she wants to kill him. As Naruto senses her anger, he puts his mask on. Think of my hair as blonde with normal blue eyes. He told her as she think as the statement shocked her. It can be I thought you died, Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki, along with Satsuki Uchiha. I mean I swore myself to avenge my mother Hotosu when your father killed her during the Third War, but what made me snapped is that he also killed Rashi and Han, who were Son Goku and Five Tails Jinchuriki. Then it became worst when my cousin Deemed Kabum became a missing nin after she stole the Kuchi Nai Shikinjutsu of Iwa to further her ambition of explosive art and disappeared. I began training in secret on using the second Tsuchikage's jutsus, even splitting myself to grow and learn faster when I merge back each time. She said as Naruto looked stunned that his former father would stood between Orochimaru and Danzo, but alas he was a war hero to Konoha, but to Iwa he is their Bujiman. Kuretsuchi, I know where she is, but I don't think that you can go to her just yet. He told her. Why not? She asked while she narrowed her eyes as Satsuki appeared and used the Sharingan on Kuro, who became sleepy as they went into her mindscape. Kuretsuchi's mindscape. It was very hot due to having multiple volcanoes and somehow they were sweating and they are Otsutsuki. This is the first Jinchuriki mindscape that doesn't have water in it. Thanks for the compliment, boy. Son Goku said to both as Naruto explained their plan to both Kuretsuchi and Son Goku as the tailed beasts accepted the plan as Naruto released the seal of Son Goku and gave a bit of their chakra to Naruto and Satsuki before they left the mindscape as Naruto took Kuro's blood to revive her. He creates a shadow clone, gives the clone the special scroll as ashes and dust covers the clone as a fully revived Kuretsuchi takes its place as Son Goku stand on her left shoulder. I even gave you a little surprise for later. Naruto told her as he and Satsuki left. Before you go, can I have a date with you? Kuretsuchi asked Naruto, who actually made a genuine smile at her as they left to have fun as since for the first time in years Kuretsuchi has actually found happiness. I'll be delighted, Kuro. Naruto said to her using her nickname as she blushed for the first time as she found someone for her as Son Goku was happy that Kuretsuchi found a worthy mate. End of flashback. Okage Tower Archives. As Anko was the proctor of the second part of the exams as Narumi, Hanabi and Marukor entered the archives as they were bored and if they can find useful jutsus inside. Suddenly a black hand, Black Zetsu, pushed a big scroll from a shelf that nearly landed on top of Mogi as Maru and Yuden held it and safely put it down. Good thing that you two caught it. Mogi thanked them as they saw the title of the scroll, Hyuga Affair. I remembered it, this was before I was born when my sister was 3 years old when the Jonin commander of Kumo snuck into our compound to kidnap Hinata during a peace treaty and that my uncle Hisashi sacrificed himself to avoid war between Konoha and Kumo. Hanabi explained. But something doesn't add up. First, how can a Jonin commander could enter the compound when every adult Hyuga have the Byakugan to see through walls, meaning that it was an inside job. But why Hinata in particular? Narumi said as that more they read the more Hanabi was shocked on the following information. As I predicted that Hinata was too gentle to be worthy of the Byakugan and become future clan head, but is shown that her eyes are too powerful for it to be waste, so is it possible that it gains the mythical evolved form called the Tensugen of our founder Himura Otsutsuki, also known as the Man on the Moon. Despite that, the Jonin commander of Kumo was actually a sleeping Rutanin of Danzo, meaning that we must protect the Byakugan from Danzo Shimura Warhawk hands, especially if Hinata's eyes evolve. If a Hyuga, particularly Niji, is reading this, then I am truly sorry as I did it out of love for my brother and son Niji and I did it on my own free will. Signed Hisashi Hyuga, brother of clan head Hisashi Hyuga. Hanabi read, as she was petrified and crying, that she found the truth of the Hyuga affair that caused her massive migraine on her eyes as they gained blue pupils filled with what resemble overlapping white flower patterns. However, it was briefly, but it shocked her friends that Yuden took a photo of it as Hanabi's eyes changed back into the Byakugan. They lied to us and Niji. I mean, there has to be more secrets that they are hiding. Hanabi said as she was questioning her own clan as they lied to Niji about his died father because of fate and made him hate Hinata for something out of her control, meaning that there are more secrets that the elders are hiding from them. Hanabi, I think that you have the potential for the Tensugen. Yuden told her as they sealed the scroll as Narumi used her sealing chains to carry Hanabi quickly, who fell unconscious as they left the Hokage tower as Black Zetsu, alone, saw them leave and nodded. Mother and father will be pleased for the progress. He said as he may fly out of the scene. As Team Otsutsuki encountered the sole female Kusa-genin alone with Team 5 as Shin Uchiha arrogantly show his Manjikyu Sharingan, Shin clones design from Boruto, trying to impress Team Gaia again. How the hell that boy is from your family? Kitsumi asked to Satsuki, who was glaring at Shin, who was showing his eyes at them. How did you awoke those eyes, Shin? Mitsuri asked innocently. Oh, it was because I saw my close one killed a few days ago. He lied to them, but it was obvious since they already knew the truth. Really, or was it when you were at the Blue Oyster Bar? How was it when they took your first time? Yodo said as she saw Shin paled. Shin, what are they talking about? Ami asked worried. Yeah. Spit it out so I can have my Naruto-kun time. Flare said while winking at Naruto, who flinched but sensed killer intent near. Why do I sense dirt, medicine, snakes, death and little boys? Naruto asked as a giant snake appeared as Naruto put his hand on the floor as he summons one of his various summons as a Heatran appeared. What can I do now for you, Naruto? Heatran asked her master. What is that, and I demand that summon right now, stranger. Shin yelled as Heatran used ancient power at Shin as the giant snake ate her as she used magma storm to burn and killed the snake alive as she came out of the burned corpse without even soothe. Why did you do that? Ami screamed at Naruto. He is a lost cause to bear those eyes. Especially what they do to weak-to-willed boys like him. Naruto said, pointing at the unconscious Shin. Bukikuku. Well said, I dare say. The Kusa-genin said as Satsuki created Amaterasu, but instead of the black flames, it was blue flames, which are the hottest ones of all flames, second to Naruto's green flames, which he can already manipulate their shape. So you showed up. I would be lying since you are only a mud clone. Naruto said as he used his hands to destroy the mud clone as the real Orochimaru appeared from the ground. How did you sense me? Orochimaru asked. When you have a powerful nose like mine to smell the times to pump your loads into your boy toy, it becomes your iconic smell. Naruto said as the others laughed as Orochimaru used his Kusanagi to stab Naruto as he holds it as it crumbles as he looked directly at Orochimaru's eyes with his green eyes glowing. Calm down, Kagaya. Naruto said to Orochimaru as it shows the Sower mindscape. Behind Naruto was something truly horrendous for Orochimaru as a giant white rabbit with Byakugan eyes and a big red eye on the forehead that is a mix of the Rinnegan from Pain and Red and the Sharingan, but with 9 Tomos breathing slowly as their breath was visible like a mist. What it truly scared him was that the beast has 10 hand tails and saw on the big fluff-like tail 9 different heads as he knows of the 1, 8 and 9 tails, as all 9 were also glaring at him with immense killer intent, while the rabbit head was showing an infinite amount of razor-sharp teeth at Orochimaru as the Halloween organ sound is heard in the background. Mommy. Orochimaru's mouth set on the wet floor after his body literally falls apart from the fear he has right now as his body parts assembled themselves. Is there really a 10 tails? He asked to himself as he was forcefully thrown from the mindscape as Kagaya transformed back into herself. As he was near Shin as he wanted to mark him, but the image of the 10 tails made him lose concentration as he accidentally marked Shin's tiny as Orochimaru spits pubes, but he got what he wanted to do as he left. Well, that was unexpected. Naruto said as he was holding the Kusanagi as he sealed it on his arm for later use, seeing that Orochimaru added an explosive poison to Shin's cursed mark, and since he wants a Manjikyu Sharingan, but he already wants Obito's, since he is not worthy to have Kamui, since Atsuki's Manjikyu already have those abilities, since they are like Indra's eyes. As the sound team, which consisted of a girl with pale skin, vivid green eyes, angular facial features, 2 scarlet dots on his forehead which all the members of the Kagaya clan possess, and long white hair, which is tied in a loose ponytail near the middle of her back with 2 separate partings on either side of her face. Wearing a specialized version of the traditional Odo-nin ensemble, consisting of a light lavender, loose-fitting, long-sleeved, zip-up shirt, black pants cut off around mid-calf, bandages wrapped around her ankles and her high D-cup breasts, traditional shinobi sandals, and a purple rope-like belt tied in an inverted bow around her waist. Her cursed seal of earth is applied at the base of her throat, where it is a circular pattern of 3 curved lines. This is Kimiko Kagaya, she last living of the Kagaya clan of Kurigakure and former rivals of the peaceful but temperamental Uzumaki clan, another of Kagaya Otsutsuki's descendants who specializes on a diluted version of her all-killing ash bones, which are similar to the truth-seeking orbs, but less controlled called Bone Pulse, who all died due to Ibido, having manipulated Yugura to order a blood purge out of spite as her clan were the first victims. She is one of Orochimaru's most powerful shinobi and was going to be his vessel in exchange for a cure of her disease. She has her headband on her right arm covered. The second girl is a fair-skinned girl with a slender build and with the shortest stature of the three. She has brown eyes that are accentuated by her eyelashes extending into the corners of her eyes and was usually sporting an impassive expression on her face. Her most distinctive feature is her long, untamed dark pink hair that falls past her shoulders with long parted bangs, framing either side of her face and one between her eyes. Her curse seal is applied on the back of her neck, where it is in a circular pattern of 3 hooks, similar to a triskelion, concealed by her hair. Her headband is on her left arm. Her attire is a black shirt under a tan tunic with elbow-length sleeves and black skin-tight shorts. She wore black arm warmers, traditional black shinobi sandals with calf-length leg warmers covered by bandages, and a purple rope-like belt tied in an inverted bow around her waist. To keep her wild hair out of the way, wears a black hat with pipe-like stripes and bandaged sides, keeping her bangs in place, while the rest is pushed back behind her ears to trail down her back. Her village's symbol is engraved on her hat. This is Teiya Uzumaki, whose parents survived the massacre but were killed by Orochimaru without her knowing it. The last girl of the group has fair skin, black eyes with very long black hair, almost reaching down to the ground, tied by a violet ribbon right near the end. Wearing forehead protector, a pale green vest somewhat similar to a flak jacket, snake-patterned pants with a snake-patterned skirt over it, and a snake-patterned scarf around her neck. This is Kintsuchi Uchiha, who was one of the lucky ones, since some of the Uchiha ancestors had the common sense to leave the village when Madara Uchiha did, while the rest betrayed him when he justified his reason to leave the village. Once again, Orochimaru killed her parents who didn't awake their Sharingan. Shin suddenly awoke and was more powerful, but his chakra was corrupted unlike dark chakra since it was not his own emotions, but someone else's as Shin wanted to kill Kin because he wanted to as Naruto took his hand out and created a Rasengan, but it looked green and brown with natural energy, named Wood-style Rasengan, and threw it at Shin, who couldn't dodge it as it was homing him, and as it hits Shin, as vines covered him as it was suppressing his and the curse mark's chakra as it receded. After that happened they checked if Kin is alright as Teiya and Kimiko gasped as what they saw on her eyes now red with 2 tomos on each eye. "What are you looking at?" Kin asked them as Teiya gave her a hand mirror as she saw that she awoke her Sharingan. "I have the Sharingan." Kin asked as Satsuki neared her and hugged. "I can't believe that I have a living cousin," she said crying while hugging Kin as blushed as Katsumi came in with Karen Uzumaki, who she saved from a bear that killed her team, as Teiya saw Katsumi golden chains appear from her torso trying to hold Katsumi, as she also used her chains to overpower Teiya's. Katsumi can use the chakra chains too. Satsuki thought to herself since Shukaku and Chimei have wood style and now Katsumi is the second known weakness of the tailed beasts, what's next to Rin Sharingan? Black hair and onyx eyes. Kin is definitely an Uchiha clan member, just as Karen and Teiya are Uzumaki clan members. Naruto said. "Okay. Let's calm the fuck down." Teiya shouted at them to calm down. "We cannot let anyone know, especially Danzo, if he gets 2 Uzumaki, a female Uchiha and the last member of the Kagaya clan on his wrinkly mummy hands." Naruto said quietly as Team Gaia appears as Naruto commences his plan. "Since when the chains act like that unless you're a," Karen said until Naruto shuts her mouth. "Don't you sense that?" he asked Naruto. "Fucking sense what?" "I don't sense anyone aside from us," Teiya said. "It's killer intent from enemy shinobi," Naruto said as both Karen and Teiya were shocked that he can sense emotions as the only being that have done that is the legendary 9-tailed fox. 2 teams of aim nin ambushed them as Satsuki and Katsumi grin as the aim nin's feet were covered in sand as Gaia used sand that she creates out of thin air to use sand burial as the aim nin were buried alive and didn't use hand seals at all as they heard something in the bushes. "You 3 continue with the exam because we got something to do," he said as he makes 4 wood clones while 3 transformed into Katsumi, Satsuki and Karen as he gives Team Kimiko the heaven scroll they needed since Team Gaia has both scrolls as Gaia used sand that she creates out of thin air to use sand burial to kill the wood clones while the real Team Otsutsuki and Karen left the scene. "Whoever you are very lucky that we won't kill you just like Gaia did with those nin's dog breath," Mitsuri said as teammate came out of the bushes as Akamaru whimpered when he saw Katsumi who smiled and hid inside Kiba as she knows bugs were acting crazy and Hinata checked Gaia's chakra and nearly blinded her due to the potency of her chakra. Gaia's team left as teammates stood there shaking in fear that they killed Team Otsutsuki and an innocent girl. Hokage's office. Minato was checking the surviving teams of the second exam as he looked at Iwa's team, specifically the Tsuchikage's granddaughter. Minato used his finger scan the face of Kuretsuchi. She just looked like her mother when I raped her and killed off her during the war with my flying thunder god jutsu. I didn't knew she had daughter. I wonder if she's a virgin and a screamer just like her mom. It still pissed me off she cut my left nutsack. Oh well, I hope see you soon, ha ha ha, that injury again. Minato said while caressing his left testicle as he also saw a four-tailed monkerilla on her shoulder. Is that the four tails? He said as he continued to see the image of Son Goku in small form as it shocked him that a tailed beast is out. I think I'm seeing things that is impossible that a tailed beast is out, not even Kushina nor the twins have that kind of ability. Minato trying to figure out how can a host survive the extraction and still live without being at least part Uzumaki. At the tower. As Team Gaia, Himiko, Kuretsuchi, Yujito, Delta, 5, 7, 8, 9 and 10 found both scrolls with flare on sealing Shin's body, which is knocked out as they opened their scrolls and threw it on the floor as Anko, Hiruka, Yujito, Gurren, Kakashi, Kushina, Kurenai, Might Guy and Asuma appeared from the smoke as they saw Team 8 distance away from Team Gaia, who raised their eyebrows at them as they hid behind Kurenai. What got them so scared of? Asuma asked while Kurenai turned her head against him. It was awful that Gaia killed Tsukumo, Orina, Kitsumi and a girl from Kusa with her sand. Hinata said while crying as Shukaku gave her tissue as he smiled at her that also scared her. What is that? Ino asked looking at Shukaku while trying to use her mind transfer jutsu at him as she saw images of Kagaya, Hagoromo spreading chakra, his siblings' creation, being captured by Ritu, sealed on Bunpyuku, Gaia's birth, and the 10 tails, before Shukaku threw her out his mind. Well, that is something rude to do with my consent. Shukaku slapped her as she stepped away from Shukaku as she was mumbling and cradling to herself. Ino? What do you saw in there? Asuma said to her. Sensei, I thought that the Kyuubi was the only tailed beast, but there are more of them. 8 of them just like him with different number of tails. That the Sage of 6 Paths was real and created them from a 10-tailed monster and a woman that had the Byakugan and something like the Sharingan, but with more rings and 9 tomos. Ino said to Asuma, shocking them as they saw Team Kuretsuchi with Son Goku playing with Toph and Azula. Shukaku stared back at Ino as he was glowing a terracotta color as his cursed marks glow white. Next time I'll put you in a sexual coma of my pup losing her virginity. Shukaku said to Ino as a promise as his gained his light brown sand color and blue cursed marks as they saw taking Shin to the medic bay with Ami coming along. You? I can't believe that you killed Naruto-kun with your sand. You whore. Flare shouted and cursed Gaia and Shukaku had it in bitter ass hard. You can call me a monster, a thing and a demon, but never insult my daughter in all but blood chakra, especially when she is the youngest daughter of the Kazekage. Shukaku said as she kneeled towards Gaia as an apology. By the way, can I ask you something alone, Lady Gaia? You don't want to spill the secret yet, do you? Flare asked Gaia as they went somewhere else into a storage area and checked if there wasn't any cameras or recording seals nor recording devices inside the area. As Shukaku was outside the door if something happens to Gaia. Suddenly Flare tackles Gaia. You killed him and I can smell that stink on you, Satsuki and the other girls on you. Now die. She said as she started to attack Gaia with a sword out of her cleavage as Shukaku came in to save Gaia. Shit, this girl is crazier than me, and that's something. Shukaku said, dodging Flare's sword by splitting his body as her strikes are getting faster as Gaia used her sand defense to cover herself and Shukaku. Water style. Dragon slash. Flare shouted as her sword covered in water penetrated her defense a bit. I don't even know this Naruto and Satsuki. Gaia shouted at her. Don't play with me, dumb bitch. I'm not that stupid like these villagers and my cousin. I can see through that illusion. Flare yelled at them as Shukaku became scared. Flare starts touching herself. I always wanted him underneath my boots, I want him to lick my boots, and I always wanted a pet fox. It's a shame that I can't use that collar on him now. Flare made her monologue as Gaia was pissed when she heard that. Sand style. Sand snakes. Gaia created sand from the air as snakes made out of sand went towards Flare as she created a water wall to destroy them. This bitch is pissing me off. Shukaku, I need your help. Gaia said as they both glowed terracotta and their cursed marks glowed white. Sorry Naruto, I probably have to take her down to keep your secret safe. This bitch is a liability. Gaia said as Flare has to die as she felt weaker by the second. Who that fuck are you? Why I can't feel Shukaku's power. Gaia asked her as Flare cups her chin and kisses her lips. Tell Naruto-kun that I will see him soon and don't worry that seal only last for 5 minutes, so just be a good girl and take a nap. Flare told her before Gaia fell asleep. But playtime and now is time to end this. Flare said as her face gained strange red markings on her face as well on the middle of her forehead instantly. Shukaku tried to escape. No. 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 It can't be. It's impossible to her be a sage and have that mode of Hashirama Senju. Shukaku said as Flare looked at him. Hokage style. 60-year-old technique Kakuin entering society with bliss-bringing hands. Flare said as she got near Shukaku as she touched his forehead to suppress his chakra by force, thus making him sleep as Flare leaves them be. 20 minutes later. Aya woke up as Shukaku was still sleeping. Where is that bitch? Shukaku. She kicked our asses at the same time. We need to tell Naruto about this girl pronto. Gaia said to him who woke as they left the storage room when her teammates came running towards them. Where did you went Gaia, we haven't seen you almost an hour. Mitsuri asked her. Not here. Let's go back to our room and I can explain everything. Gaia told them. Team Gaia's room. Thanks to Shukaku, her healing kicked in. So what happened back there? Yodo asked them. I got my ass kicked by a crazy fangirl. Gaia answered as Yodo and Mitsuri stared at her. Huh? Yodo and Mitsuri said. The fangirl kicked my ass and also Shukaku's too. She said. Who was that girl? Mitsuri asked. Flare Haruno, she has water style, strong to jutsu that she was faster than my sand. She said. For a fangirl I dropped my guard on her. Shukaku, I need you to contact Naruto to talk with him. Gaia said as he nodded. Mitsuri. Yodo, watch my and Shukaku's body, okay? She said, as they understood. Aya's mindscape. Her new mindscape looked like a huge desert at night, with the stars shining brightly and with multiple oases all over the desert. She saw Naruto, Satsuki, Kitsumi and Kagaya present. What is going on? Naruto asked. Do you know of Flare Haruno? Gaia said as both Naruto and Satsuki got shivers. She used to be our friend until a certain incident happened to her and her family. Naruto said. What happened? Gaia asked. First she was in our class, but she took the graduation test 2 years ago, making her the youngest ninja to graduate beating Kakashi and Itachi. Satsuki said. I remember her mother was very kind, handed out cookies. Naruto said. So what was the change? Gaia asked. During summer break, her family went to Moon Country, just let Yo know her parent were never ninjas, just a food merchants. Satsuki said. What happened? Shukaku asked. When they were coming back from Moon, they have Kusa ninjas escorted them back to village. One of the man didn't like that her mother turning him down, telling him she was married. That night those Kusa ninjas terminated the contract, killing her father and a baby boy. 2 months they were being held in an undisclosed location being raped by those animals, they broke them, and Lady Lily was very kind-hearted, she didn't deserve it. Flare was the same. The Konoha and Kusa ninjas did the rescue mission, saving the Lady Lily and Flare from the captures. We didn't find out about it until class started, that's when we saw her, like she was lost. That didn't end there, well Flare was at school. Lady Lily. Naruto explained until Gaia stopped him. I don't want to hear anymore. Gaia said. I felt something weird on her as every time she used her water style, there were small traces of wood chakra. Shukaku said as that made Naruto, Satsuki and Kitsumi pause themselves. That's not all as she used the Hokage style. 60-year-old technique Kakuin entering society with bliss bringing hands on me to suppress my chakra by force, and guess what, she had the same markings of Hashirama Senju Sage mode. Shukaku said as Kitsumi's eyes came out of her face towards Shukaku as Naruto and Satsuki's jaws dropped to the sand. You're shitting me? Naruto said as Satsuki fainted, which was weird to do inside a mindscape. While Gaia was talking to Naruto group, underneath Gaia's shoe was a brown seed listening in Gaia's room as her teammates were talking. In Team 5's room, Flare was listening to Team Gaia's room. Boring. They just talking bullshit, I wish I could make camera seeds to watch. Let's see, Shin and Ami are still in the infirmary, Ami probably jerking him off. Kakashi is at the Hokage tower reading his pathetic bad written porn. Flare said in a bored tone. Most of teams are in the cafeteria or in their rooms. This is boring. Lucky for me I got my Naruto plushie. Flare said holding a life-size Naruto plushie. In the village, several girls have their plushies of Naruto like Fuu, Ada, Haku, Am, Hanabi and Mogi for example. I wish that I can tell you and Satsuki to what happened to me and my family. She said sadly to the plushie. Flashback. Inside a Kusagakure hideout. Look, go, just let us go please. Lady Lily pleaded. Shut up bitch. You are my woman and you and your daughter are going enjoy the ride for a long time and popping some babies too. Ha ha ha. The Kusanin said to them. Flare seeing her mom being ravaged repeatedly as her eyes looked like it died to the world. I need you to get out and get some help, my legs is still hurt. Her mom and saw her nodding. Lily saw this, she need them to watch her, not her daughter. More. Harder. She said as the men obey and listen to her request as they start banging her more roughly. Goodbye my sweet Flare. She said to her daughter. Flare took the chance, she in trance of the room, closed the cage and locked it and broke the key so they can't follow her. How long was she down there, as she needs to find help? She prayed for Kami to get out her, as her prayer wasn't answered, as in the front of entrance was the person took her virginity and kiss from her, that she was saving it for Naruto. Now it's gone because this person. When the person saw her, he smiled. Am I trying to leave without a goodbye kiss first? The man said lecherously. Fuck you. She cursed him. Don't worry, I will. The man said as he charged at her as the darkness came to take her. In the hideout, with her being held on a cell that belonged to a Senju bitch that the Kusanin ancestors raped, as he picked up a bone and stabbed her in the shoulder. One of the bone fragments entered her fractured bones. Moments later, a rescue team of Kusa arrived with Karen's mother supplied her with her chakra and blood. Then something amazing happened at that moment as flowers began to grow where Flare was as she and the rescue team left the hideout. End of flashback. As she returned to Konoha, she began to train in secret her wood style, Kenjutsu, Taijutsu and sealing arts, that she beat the record of Kakashi and Itachi. Her wood style is superior than Hashirama Senju and Tenzo of the Yin wood style, as he can create the wood but lack the life on them, since hers was a dormant gene that the Uzumaki awoke by using her chakra and blood. Meanwhile at Team Gaia's room. As Gaia and Shukaku awoke as he sensed something on Gaia's shoe as she took out a seed from her shoe and crushed it. What was that? Mitsuri asked. Oh my Kami, it was a transmission seed. Meaning that Flare was hearing us this whole time. I didn't even sensed it until now. Gaia said as Shukaku holds his hands to his face showing a shocked expression. Meanwhile with Naruto and Black Sun at night. So the time has come as we finally will raid Root HQ. Naruto said, as they look towards the Shimura compound, also known as the main entrance to Root HQ. If there is one place to find Konoha's dirtiest of secrets even from other villages are on Root HQ, and I sensed something weird inside there 2 days ago. Kitsumi told them as they nodded since they have everything they needed to raid the place. What if neglected Naruto adopted by a goddess? End here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.